Yep, Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots, and today's episode of Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by Bevel. Get a Bevel razor today by going to getbevel.com and using promo code IDIOTS20 to get 20% off the first month of your Bevel subscription. Start taking better care of you with the first and only shaving system that's made for coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Salute to Tristan Walker and the Bevel team for continuing to expand their brand and build that empire. But ain't nothing like a discount on a quality product. So again, go to getbevel, GETBEVEL.com with the promo code IDIOTS20 to save 20% off the first month of your Bevel subscription. Now let's start the show.
Yo.
Happy birthday to me, motherfucker.
Happy birthday to Charlamagne. Happy 43rd birthday.
43rd birthday, man.
Big 4-3.
I keep telling y'all, drink your water, do your green juice workout, and you can look like me at 43. Go get you a good dermatologist. But today is my actual born day, the day we're recording this.
Yes, which is Wednesday.
Okay. And tonight I got a little private shindig. Just real intimate, nothing crazy.
Okay.
And then by the time y'all hear this, it'll be the live show.
It'll be the live show, that's right.
Yeah, so tonight y'all should be coming to join us.
At the live show in New York City, the live podcast.
And where's it at? BMCC?
Yeah, it's a BMCC, Tribeca Pack Theater. You can go to their website. You can cop tickets for it. Tickets still available. Get those tickets. Come join us, man.
And it's almost full, but not all the way full.
Exactly.
It's like 3/4.
Yeah.
Right? So either way, we're going to have a good crowd, but, I'm thinking it's going to be a good walk-up. So even if you haven't ordered your tickets online, just come out tonight. Walk up.
Yo, walk up, come chill. It's a theater, man. It's 900 fucking seats, so it's going to be wild. We want to get that shit packed in there, get it crazy, and have a good fucking time.
Absolutely.
So, how are you, man?
I'm fine.
You feeling good on your birthday?
I am, actually.
Yeah? You get any good presents?
I did. Somebody sent me this great balloon arrangement, and it's a bunch of shit emoji balloons, and it's a toilet balloon.
Yeah.
And that's dope. And I appreciated that. And somebody got me a good book. Somebody got me The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. Salute to my homegirl, Randy. She got me that for my born day.
Okay.
She knows I like to read, so she got me that. And I mean, everything else is just liquor. Everybody buys bottles for Charlamagne. I literally have so much alcohol ever since Drake said back to back. When was that? That was like a year ago?
At least.
A year ago, maybe. Yeah.
I got too much alcohol. And I can't ever say stop sending me alcohol because you can't tell people what not to send you.
Why not?
Because it's easy.
Just say it right now.
I mean, I appreciate it. I can't say it. I would never
sending
say
me alcohol.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You could appreciate something else. Say, don't send me alcohol. I'm not drinking anymore.
Well, the difference is, it's not even the fact that they
like the alcohol.
I do. But it's not even the fact that they want to send alcohol. They just want to buy bottles for Charlamagne.
They want to be Drake.
What I need is a rapper.
Care about your birthday.
I need a rapper to be like, buy a Bentley for Charlamagne.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
give Charlamagne $1 million.
Your slander ain't worth that much.
Might buy me might give Charlamagne $1 million. That's how that would go. Might give $1 million to Charlamagne. That would be dope.
If Young Thug gives you $1 million, will you never talk about his sundresses again?
He don't wear sundresses no more.
Oh, he stopped?
Yeah, but if you give me $1 million, I can ignore him.
He stopped, and first of all, I was just in Atlanta. Shout out to everybody who came out to the show.
You said Atlanta. He said the most cliche, obvious thing in the world.
Which is what?
Atlanta's the gayest place you've ever been to.
No. I want to say that if I lived in Atlanta, I think I would wear sundresses just because of the heat. I understand the weather and why you would want to wear something like that. Wearing pants is just ridiculous.
So that's why they got turned out there.
Bro, maybe. But it makes sense. It's hot. It's hot at night. There's no what is it? Respite from the heat.
It's humidity. The humidity is
honestly,
crazy.
God bless the dudes out there fucking each other in the butt because that butt is swampy. That butt is super
that's why they
swampy.
went there. That's why they.
Don't nobody want no humid ass, bro.
No, but maybe they do because it's lube.
Nah.
Sweat is lube?
Yeah, the sweat is lube,
Sweat
bro.
is like dries it up.
Oh, it does? How the fuck would you know?
No, listen, I ain't talking about it dries up the ass. I'm just saying sweat dries shit up. I don't see sweat as being lube.
But maybe it works. Maybe it just,
If you're gay in Atlanta and you're having sex in the summer, like if you're taking the time to sodomize somebody in the ass during the summer,
yeah.
you're
Summer
committed to
sodomy.
being gay.
You bold.
Like you're committed to being gay. Like you are gay.
If you fuck ass in like if you're in Alaska and you're fucking ass, it's like whatever.
It's like all right, whatever.
It's a nice dry ass.
It could be casual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it could be trendy. You know what I'm saying? But if you in the summer in Atlanta, sodomizing somebody in the summer, you are committed to being gay.
Sodomy talk.
You got some balls. You got some balls to do that
Real
shit.
talk,
I salute you.
You want that butthole.
Hey, man.
You need that butthole.
You had to be born gay in order to do that.
Son, I was so strong. I found out when I was in Atlanta that people are born. I always felt that people are born gay. I know you don't believe this, but let me tell you how I know for a fact. This is how I know for a fact they're born gay. My boy is staying at this hotel, and it's in the gay neighborhood in Atlanta. Right?
They got a gay neighborhood?
Yeah. It was. This is
gay Pride Week every day.
Yeah, exactly. So we went out to this restaurant, right? And there was this guy in the restaurant, and he was walking out of the restaurant. There was a stair, and he didn't see the stair, right? So the dude walks out, he misses the stair, and he starts to fall, and all of a sudden he goes, ah!
So how old was he?
He was like 30 years old. But the sound that came out of his mouth, was ah, and that shit is not a choice. Whatever sound you make when something happens that you do not expect is who you are inside. That's not a choice. You could choose to dress a certain way. You could choose to talk a certain way. You could choose to every time you suck a dick, it is a choice you're making. But the sound you make when you are afraid
is what you are.
Not really, because look, put like this. Say you was in an Arabic community and somebody punched him in his face. You think they say ouch? They don't say ouch. It's all learned behavior, so you can't say that.
What the hell are you talking about?
Bro, right now, no. In Arabic, what do they say? If you punch him in their face, what they gonna say?
He might not say ouch, but he probably go ugh.
All right, so what he say? He probably heard his mom say whatever the case, whatever you just.
You had a mom when someone punches you, do you go
No, I'm just saying he probably heard his mom doing that. Right now, we was all wolves, and we'd probably all be barking if we was young. It's all learned behaviors. That's
but he has the ability to learn from a bunch of different things. You don't think he's seen the same movies as you, seen the same television shows as you, etc.
Probably not. If he did, he'd be like me.
Listen, you know why I believe people are born gay?
Why is that?
Because they told me.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
Nobody's gonna tell you that they got molested like that. Everybody.
You did?
I'm different.
So why aren't you gay?
I ain't get molested by a man.
So if you get molested by a man, you're gay. If you get molested by a woman, you're what? A lesbian.
I don't mind being a lesbian.
Everybody's circumstance.
You eat pussy still?
I tried the other day.
So hold on. This is the bullshit that comes out of this motherfucker's mouth. Right? But here's the bullshit. So if a guy gets molested by a man, right? He turns to be gay.
Ouch.
But you had to eat pussy in a basement for an hour.
Hours.
Right? And
multiple girls, 2 of them.
Now you don't eat pussy. So why is it that guy, what, did the girl not molest you good enough to turn you into a pussy eater?
I don't know. See, it always do different things to different people. You know what I'm saying? Just like right now, if I get punched in the face, I might go ahead and start trying to kill everybody, or I'm gonna go to church. I'm gonna really humble myself.
Or if you get punched in the face, you might just go, ah.
I mean, I would think if you got molested when you was young, you probably wouldn't like it unless the head was absolute fire, and then you'd be like, "Yo, man, that mouth."
You get turned out, or you go the other way.
That man mouth is a different type of beast.
Mouth is a different
beast. But when a gay person tells me, "Hey, I was born gay," who am I to tell them otherwise?
That's done. They would know.
They would know exactly.
They probably never going to tell you that their uncle touched them or something happened.
So you think that's the only way for people to turn gay?
So everybody gay got molested.
What? And I think it got a lot to do with the food too. Listen, I'm telling you, can I say this?
People need to stop eating bananas. No. All they're doing is eating bananas at a young age.
I think it's chemical imbalance.
You gotta be too old to be eating bananas.
I really think it's chemical imbalance for real. I think it's the antibiotics that they put in the different foods. I think it's messing.
So how do you explain?
So you might be gay one day then.
If that fucking antibiotic hit a certain part of my brain, that shit might fuck my life.
Wow, he's just trying to set us up.
He's trying to sell eggs. That's what the fuck. They got organic eggs. I know the next thing is coming out. Wax's egg farm.
Get my
complete
eggs for me.
Antibiotic free organic eggs won't make you gay. That's it. I understand what you're doing from the jump.
I threw the out.
He might be trying to set us up.
What you mean?
It might be a video coming out of Wax or something. And he's like, it's the food. It's the food.
That's why I started eating my eggs.
Something I ate in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta one week and I ate something, and that thing I know I was gay.
Hell no. I don't think you ever got to worry about that. A girl might have a couple of things in me. I had a video. We used to do like a whole series. It's like 3 tapes out there. It was the math, the aftermath, in a car. And we was all jumping this girl off. And I know that tape is out there. My boy actually got it lost. I think in Utah.
And did you touch dicks with one of the other guys?
Not at all.
Jesus
not at all. I got a couple of my dudes. Like, and it's so crazy.
You've never been jumping a girl off and then his dick just hit your forearm or shoulder?
Like, it's either you get head or I smash from the back or we switch. Or
when you switch, on a switch.
On a switch, you'd be like, yo, I'm tired of getting head. Like nah,
switch it up. And then on the switch, do you guys slap 5 while you're both hard or anything?
It all depends on who you is, who you with. If that's really your boy, he'd probably be like just trying to train the girl. Or it got a lot to do with the girl, who the girl is. And she get a little bit of respect, we don't dog her the fuck out.
What?
What are you talking about?
Like, bro, listen, we all just smoking. Is she our friend?
Charlamagne is 47 years old. He can't be hearing these fucking stories no more, bro.
Like, what are you talking
this man
about?
is too old to be hearing this
Just because you jumped the girl off don't mean she's about to get disrespected. You don't disrespect her because she fucking.
You already disrespecting her because you jumping her off.
No.
That's not true.
That's
you could jump a girl off.
Yeah, she wanted to get both of y'all some pussy.
I mean, listen, if you're a girl who wants to get a train ran on you, for sure.
Exactly.
But
it's all experiences.
But not the way y'all used to do it. If you fucking a girl from the back and your boy walks in and then you walk off and let him get some, that's rape.
What the fuck is this rape shit? Why are you even talking about this anyway?
You know what?
You know the proper way to smash a girl. You know when a girl just like, when a girl want to smash.
What is the proper way to smash a girl with your friend?
You let them first come in. You see if she like introduce to your boy. See if she have like googly eyes or whatever the case may be. I might come in and try to have my shirt off or whatever. Do some push-ups. As soon as I know she about to come in, you like, yo, I'm about to bring in. I do some push-ups till they get upstairs. And then
I normally don't fuck multiple dudes at one time, but golly, this man can do some calisthenics.
Your muscles are making me want to get a train ran on you.
Oh my Lord.
Oh my God, he did 100 push-ups in 37 seconds. I have to give him some pussy now.
Sweetheart, I'm sorry I cheated on you with those football players.
You never know.
But you should have seen the jumping jacks. It was unbelievable.
Hey, I know you got
burpees.
I know I got my dick in your mouth right now, but who's your friend doing the push-ups downstairs?
But that's how it happened. I'm like, damn, yo, I think she want to smash me too. And that's just how it go. And
you don't think that there's any part of her that's maybe afraid because she walks in a room and you're doing push-ups?
Nah, you'll know. I'm saying some girls know what time it is. You don't just sit there and just go on.
A lot of girls don't know what time it is. Some girls be in shock.
No.
Word up. So when you walk in, they don't say nothing.
None of the girls that me and my dudes ever jumped. I'm talking about we've been jumping girls from fucking
raping girls for
high school. Like they always been getting jumped off.
Why don't you guys ever just have sex with one girl without your friends around? So that's a little bit more fun.
Everybody got wifeys, and then you got the girls that we all jump. Like,
yeah, but why do you and your boys got to be there? That's what's weird to me about it.
Why are we starting the podcast talking about rape culture?
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Jumping off is not rape.
Okay.
This isn't her saying no.
Look, Wax, my point is this. Never when I'm about to have sex with a girl do I go, yo, you know what would make this better?
Another dick.
If John was in here, yo. If John was in here, and
a lot of times that's like an exit strategy, man. You know what? I'm done with this, man. She probably gonna start trying to like me, so I'm probably gonna try to get my boy to smash and really get her the fuck out of here. She smashed my boy.
So she's not entitled to you anymore if she smashes.
But
why do you got to stand there while your boy's dick is out though?
Nah, a lot of time you be like, yo, go on there, smash real quick. All right, she down, go ahead.
Okay,
and smash
here's super question. Have you guys
seen School Days how he did it?
Yeah. Have you ever had a situation where your boy was like, yo, roll this condom on me real quick?
Nah, see, everybody actually did that. What was actually straight. Nobody touched nobody's dicks. It was all about the girl.
Son,
we both was concentrating on
peel
the
this
girl.
shit back on me real quick.
The weirdest shit was with this nigga.
Wait, what?
The weirdest fucking
posture
shit.
got real good.
I was
drunk. Be honest. You might have had a meal in Atlanta. You had a nice meal in Atlanta.
No.
It was 3 in the morning, and I was drunk as a motherfucker.
Coming from the strip club.
And it was a girl I already have fucked, and her pussy was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about grade
it wasn't all that good. The girl that I had with pussy was better.
Nah, I fucked her too.
It don't matter. I fucked both of them too.
Hers was wetter, but it wasn't better. Listen.
Look at these little brothers competing. You hear this shit?
No, my pussy was better.
Listen, so I'm saying, I'm like, yo, you gotta fuck this girl, right? So
just so happened my shit had the period. Left her ass in the parking lot.
You did. Left her in the parking lot of the car, took the girl whose period wasn't on, fucking her, and I just got tired of fucking because I didn't even fuck. I was trying to get head.
I was getting head, and this nigga, I go in and roll a blunt. This motherfucker, I come back from rolling the blunt. This nigga over here tongue kissing the fucking girl.
I was drunk. Now let's put some context to that. I fell asleep.
Okay.
On the couch. So when I woke up, She was just there by herself.
I'm rolling the blunt. I'm right there.
I forgot she had just been sucking dick 20 minutes prior. I'm going to be honest with you. It was an honest mistake. What do you want me to do? I don't know what you want me to say. It was an honest mistake.
Why are you kissing her anyway?
I'm an intimate
we just
guy.
came from the strip club. She didn't shower and brush her teeth.
Listen,
I'm intimate.
I am an intimate guy. I like intimacy.
He love it.
I'm a Cancer.
That's the weirdest jump I ever had.
I'm a Cancer.
You walk back in the room with the blunt and you see this motherfucker laying on his side on the bed with his legs crossed up for her legs.
Not just regular. He target his motherfucker.
Like he's trying to taste your dick.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You know what's so fucked up about this situation? You know what's so fucked up about this situation?
Stop him. At any point in time, are you like, yo?
You know what's
Nah, he looked at it like, nah, I ain't bugging.
You know what's so fucked up about this? She kissed me knowing she was sucking dick.
Yeah, she's a piece of shit. Girl's always a piece of shit.
No, she not.
What, she's supposed to not?
She's supposed to be like,
something on you.
Nope, she's supposed to have something on you.
Supposed to kiss you.
Listen, have you ever tried to kiss a girl after she eat like a Subway sandwich or something with onions?
Or
she's like, nah, chill. I've been eating onions, tuna.
Yeah.
Like, she supposed to stop. You supposed to be like, nah, chill. I've been sucking dick. Hold on, let me go brush my teeth or something.
She needs something on you, though. We need something on girls. We always try to get something on girls.
Here's a question. What was the flavor of Wax's dick?
Nah, chill out.
Wait,
listen, change the subject.
Yo, why are you nervous? You should stink, bro.
Like, it was kind of crazy. That was the weirdest one.
Let's talk about brisket. Ask Andrew
brisket?
if you like. Ask Wax if you like brisket.
Oh yeah. Do you like what happened?
They don't serve brisket in the
brisket?
UK no more.
Why not?
Well, they decided
Shortage
as a
of
country
cows.
that they're just gonna not have brisket anymore.
They want cows for milk. No meat.
Listen, let's do it like I got a bunch of land. Let's go ahead and get these fucking cows over there. Let's send it over there to where's this at?
The UK.
In the UK,
London, right?
Yeah.
Let's serve all the. Let's do it.
So it's this thing, #brisket, where they're not going to do it anymore. What do you think the strategy is for the future for London? How do they deal with the brisket?
Hold on, this Duval. Hold on. Hey, what's up, my brother?
Happy birthday, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, my nigga.
Happy birthday, man.
Put it up on the
Nigga,
phone.
did you see me, goddamn?
Hold on. We on the podcast now. What you about to say, crazy?
Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I ain't know you were shooting the podcast, man. God is good, man.
No. Let me see the phone for a second.
Hold on, Andrew want to talk to you. Hold up.
Hey, Duval, say what you're about to say.
What?
Hold on one second. I want to show you how this is so funny about Duval. He's on mute right now. Duval called to wish you a happy birthday. But this is what he really called to say, okay? What were you about to say, Duval?
Nigga, I don't know. You just put me on. Let me know what you fit.
No, why'd you call? No, why'd you call Charlemagne?
To wish me happy born day.
Happy birthday.
And then what else?
Oh, yeah, they gave me a shout out on the Today's Show, you know.
On the what show?
The Today's Show.
And I get a call from everybody telling me that they shouting me out on the Today's Show, you know, with the Killing with the Show.
So
Okay.
So on Charlemagne's birthday, you called him to tell him how good you doing?
Bragging. That's Duval.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Duval and I linked up when I was in Atlanta. Duval's famous, bro.
Duh.
Duval's fucking famous,
You know how much
bro.
pussy he getting out there?
Son,
He getting all the pussy out there. Every time I go out there, Duval got like 4 or 5 girls out there for me.
bro, I'm sorry.
Duval, why you think you not popping?
No, I thought you were popping, but like I've only seen you walk around Times Square with me, and most people that know you know me. We couldn't even eat. He took me to a restaurant. First of all, he rolled up in the Rolls Royce.
Okay.
He rolled up in the Rolls Royce.
Kill him with the roses.
Kill him with the Rosie. Kill him with the Rosie.
No, I did.
Yo, call in. We're gonna call you right now, yo. We're gonna call you right now. All right.
I'm getting ready to get on the road. I was just talking.
That mean he ain't feel like talking.
Nah. We're gonna call you right now, Duval.
Hey, don't answer, Duval.
All
All right. We're gonna call you right now. You got it, bro. This dude's famous, bro.
Duval been getting money for a long time.
Man.
I know he's getting money, but fame.
No. Dude, Duval been getting money as a stand-up comedian for at least
I'm not talking about
15
money,
years.
Charlemagne. I'm talking about fame. Like, we were sitting down at the restaurant, and it was to the point where he had to ask people, yo, can we take pictures after we just want to eat right now.
Yeah.
Like everybody coming over, every table, everybody to work there. Like it was wild, bro. I never seen that before, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I never seen that before. It was really.
It's that goddamn killing with the shoulders. It's giving them new life.
I guess so. I guess so.
All right, let's pay some bills, man. Today's episode of Brilliant Idiots is also brought to you by MVMT watches. Now, Schultz, you got you an MVMT watch, right?
I did get me a nice little MVMT watch. I'm not playing around. It's a nice gold one.
Yeah.
With the black face. It looks sexy. Looks sexy.
What we like to do here at the Brilliant Idiots, we like to connect with different brands that are trying to do their thing. And, we like to try new things. We love innovation and companies that are changing the industries they're in. So when Movement introduced themselves to us and sent over the watches, Schultz was telling me how impressed he was.
It was beautiful. I'm not going to lie. It's a nice, sleek watch.
I actually thought it was my birthday present when I walked in. I was like, oh, shit, he bought me a fly-ass gold watch.
No, not at all. It was for me. I didn't get you anything for your birthday, but a nice, happy birthday.
Okay.
But I didn't start talking about what happened to me today, so I thought that was nice.
I appreciate
that.
All
about you.
I appreciate you letting me have a moment.
I want you to have a moment. But the thing about Movement is it started by two broke college kids that wanted to wear stylish watches but couldn't afford them. And now, if that's not a hustle, I don't even know what the hell is. They began by selling online where they're able to cut the middleman and provide an unbelievably affordable price. These watches look like they should be at least $400 to $500, but Movement has maintained their price point starting at $95. As a company, Movement has been able to grow organically thanks to supporters like you. So join the Movement today and grab one of these beautifully designed and affordable watches. Go to mvmtwatches.com/idiots and they'll give you 15% off your entire purchase. That's mvmt.com/idiots. Get yourself a watch.
That's right. That's crazy though. Why I can't believe they're just gonna stop selling brisket in the UK like that.
Yeah, it is. I guess they don't like brisket that much out there.
Where did we eat brisket at? That was real good.
Probably the UK,
Texas, Austin,
Texas. Yeah. We went to. I forgot what we had to do. It was actually real good. They fed the shit out of us.
South by Southwest.
What do you think will happen in the future for the UK after the brisket? Wax.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. What's the effects of brisket? Like, what's the good things about brisket? What it do? Help you speak better or something?
Protein.
It's a great protein source.
Good animal protein.
I guess people gonna get skinnier. No protein.
They got other forms of meat. They just don't want to serve briskets. You can still eat steaks. You know what I'm saying? Still hamburgers.
So what's actually the part of the brisket? Is the penis? The balls?
No, the brisket is just
part of the cow.
Yeah, part of the cow. What part? Yeah. The shoulder. I'm
not sure.
The neck. What's brisket?
Huh?
What's the part of the brisket? Because
I don't know.
The
to
ham,
be honest,
a ham on a pig is his ass.
Right. But they decide they're not going to serve it anymore. That's just what it is.
Just brisket, but you can have the steak. You can cut the rest of the cow up.
Right?
You just keep that part.
Exactly. A lot of things have been changing out there because they left the European Union. Did you know that?
I haven't. Listen, what are you talking about?
Great Britain?
Pussy, money, weed. If it ain't about that, I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Do you know what the European Union is?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, do you know what the United Kingdom is?
I guess it's London.
London is part of it.
Okay.
They left the European Union.
All right.
It's kind of like if,
brisket left.
New York left United States of America.
They just picked up and left. Or just the people. It's like a...
No. As a country, they voted to no longer be part of it.
So everybody got up and left?
Yeah.
So who lived there now?
Well, no, they...
Like, for real, I'm trying to figure this out. They moved? Like, what's up?
They moved to Syria. That's what happened.
No, I'm dead serious. I really don't know nothing about this.
Bro, the country decided no longer to be part of
that church.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But they're still going to stay where they are. They just wanted as a country.
Changing their church.
Yeah. But now that apparently they regret it. Here's the reality of the matter. I want to get somebody who is an expert on this, on not even expert, just anybody fucking English to talk to us about this. I swear to God, Chris and I have been asking people for the last couple of days. Nobody is English in New York City. We couldn't get any, or Scottish or anybody. Zero experts out here in New York City about this European Union.
Talk to your uncles, what they know.
Yeah, but then we got to call in.
Okay.
I really don't know what the hell is really going on with this whole situation. I'm going to be honest.
I'm lost, bro.
Okay.
I've been trying to pay attention to it, and I'm like, okay. Because the people I talk to from the UK, they don't even really know what the fuck they voted for.
Well, that's the problem.
Like, they don't know. People just telling us to vote. And like we told y'all on this podcast, we've told y'all this numerous times before. Independent independent ain't always the move, bro.
It's not, man.
Trump is in.
Y'all motherfuckers want to be independent artists so bad. Sometimes it's okay to be signed to a major.
And they were signed to a major.
They were signed to a major.
And they were the biggest artists on that major label.
Damn.
The European Union, they were the artists, bro.
So they got too big for their britches.
I think it was. Look.
They could be like Jay-Z on his own, though, right?
I guess it was.
What they trying to do?
Basically, what I'm understanding, it was some. Okay, there's two things. I'm understanding it was partially like some like nationalistic pride shit. Like they're saying it was some basically we don't want immigrants here anymore.
Like Trump trying to do.
Okay.
And they basically voted for Trump before we could vote for Trump.
Oh, so they got some say-so over that side, too.
Say again?
They got say-so around the world? I thought it was just the United States get the vote.
So what's considered an immigrant in the UK?
So how the European Union works is this, is like all the countries in the European Union, that's the United Kingdom, Spain, France, Germany, all these countries, the rule is that you could travel and live and work in between all these countries with no visa.
Nice.
Right? So what I basically...
Like we go to Miami.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yep.
All right.
The brisket sounds better. Like it's not like
just call it brisket.
Yeah, not having no brisket in London sounds much more intriguing.
Yeah, this right here is kind of complicated.
What is this? Yeah, I don't understand.
Basically it's difficult. Basically they voted as a country to not be part of it, and a lot of people are chalking it up to some like
did they secede from the union? Is it something like that?
Essentially.
Okay,
yeah.
So what happens to them?
They get affected because now they got to rewrite trade agreements with every single country or all these other countries that they left.
What made this happen? You got to be the pussy, money, or weed, drugs, a girl, or money. Like what the fuck made this happen?
Essentially, the old people in the United Kingdom voted to leave the EU
because of money.
Not because of money, basically because they don't like the fact that their country doesn't look the same way it used to look. That's what I'm reading. That they don't like the fact that there's all these like Muslim neighborhoods and like there's all these immigrants coming in from Africa and the Middle
fucking
East.
Their girls, boom.
Maybe they're fucking their girls. Maybe that's what it is.
It gotta be pussy,
but they wanted
money,
old
or
school.
drugs.
But apparently the young people didn't vote for it. I know Scotland as a country didn't vote for it. They voted to remain. But I really wish that you guys cared about this conversation so we could talk about it.
I'm listening to you.
I wish y'all fucking care because I wanted to talk about this so bad. I wanted to bring an expert because I knew that you weren't going to give a fuck.
I got you. Let's go.
Nah, man.
I don't give a fuck because I just don't understand what's going on. Like we got our own issues to worry about. I'm trying to figure out how is this going to affect us in November.
That's the argument. That's the argument that they made.
What?
That's the exact way of thinking that led them to leave. Is we got our own issues. Let's think about us. Why are we worried about these people? We got too many immigrants coming from other countries.
I keep hearing
we need to worry about what we got to do.
I keep hearing people say this situation is going to be like us voting for Trump, but I'm like, America's not breaking away from anybody. Who are we breaking away from?
No, but it would have an isolationist approach to the world, right? So we would essentially, they basically did this to, that's why I want an expert here, but I'm hearing that a lot of the reason behind this is so that they can control the flow of immigration, right? And by controlling the flow of immigration, what they essentially really want to do is just stop letting like Arabs and like Africans into the country.
Why didn't they just build the wall?
Because if they're in the EU, they can't.
They don't want to get their girls fucked. That's all I know.
I don't know what the fuck's going on, man.
If they're in the EU, they can't. It's part of the what agreement is there's free flow of goods and people.
I'm talking to Van yesterday. Van's like, you know what? Just overall, as a culture, we have to get smarter. You know what I'm saying? We have to, he said white people, they sit around and they talk about things like brisket for fun. What's the shit called? Brexit for fun.
What is that?
You know what I mean?
It's Brexit is the real thing.
in Atlanta. Listen, they said we speak about Brexit. They speak about Brexit for fun. And I'm like, well, what about Brexit? He's like, I don't know.
I guess we don't give a fuck.
Let's call Van. See, Van might. Huh? Call Van real quick. Come on. Call Van. Van is the guy you want to have a conversation with, Schultz.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Someone who fucking cares.
Somebody will care about Brexit. Listen, my people in London don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My people. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not gonna say all of London. I'm just saying my people are like, we don't know what the fuck this shit means.
That's the problem.
But why the fuck are y'all voting if y'all know what y'all voting for?
We don't know what we voting for either.
That's the problem.
I know what I'm voting for.
Well, that's why I don't judge them too bad, because we voted for Bush. So
I didn't vote for Bush.
We fucked up, but we as a country
voted for Bush?
No, I didn't.
First time I ever voted was for President Barack Obama.
First time.
I voted for.
I don't think I was able to do it. I think I snuck in there and did it.
Is that like the England had this air of sophistication for so many years?
I did.
Right?
I snuck in.
You snuck in what?
I snuck into college too.
What are you talking about?
I snuck in to do the vote.
Shut up,
Obama.
Wax.
I promise you, I did. It was inside the gym.
Stop
it was in the gym
Stop.
for fucking college.
Why would you distract?
That's not true, because you got when you go in there,
Chris. I blame you for this, Chris.
It's the boot. I promise you, I did.
All right, fuck any of
You
this.
can't sneak into no voting booth.
I
Of course you
did.
can't sneak into a voting booth.
I snuck into college. I ain't take no fucking SATs.
You could sneak into a vote. You can't sneak into
did.
shit. No way you
I
can
snuck
sneak
into London.
into anything. No.
I snuck into fucking
You're
college.
6'2",
You did not sneak into
240
London.
pounds. You're not
I
sneaking
did.
into
How you
fucking
sneak
nothing.
into London when you had a passport and they stopped you at the fucking?
And we
whatever.
had a visa for you.
I didn't think I was gonna get in there either.
We had a visa for you. You knew you were going to get in.
I don't think you know what snuck in means.
I snuck into college. I thought you were supposed to have the SATs, and I didn't do it.
Hold on, you call him.
You don't
man?
have to have the SATs.
Oh, he's on the headphone. Let me see. Yo, Van.
Man, I knew we should have had a fucking English person in this shit, man.
I'm
Turn it up
English.
some
I
more.
speak English.
Y'all
God damn.
Caucasians are the European ones. Y'all supposed to have this
Yeah, you supposed to know a little
down
bit
packed.
more.
Why?
Because y'all European.
So
and,
what?
and your uncles.
You know
is
everything
out
going
there.
on in Zimbabwe?
I've never been to Africa.
Okay.
Nor do I claim
Are
to
we
be.
African?
Okay.
White people
Duh.
introduce themselves as European.
Who? Which white people?
Americans.
Which white people?
European Americans.
Nah, you call us European Americans.
Yeah, you know somebody jumped out on the truck on me today. Somebody trying to beat me up today.
One more time. Let's see.
It's
Let's
not
see.
worth it.
Well, let's see.
Come on, let's talk about
Like Khaled
tweets.
say.
Let's talk about tweets or something like that.
Let's
Isn't that
see.
a good thing to talk about?
Let's
talk
see.
about some fucking tweets.
Let's see.
tweeted? Who
We got an
tweeted?
election
Somebody
in
probably
November.
tweeted.
Hello?
Hello.
Yo.
Can I speak to
come
Van,
on.
please?
Who the fuck is this?
This is Timmy Turner. We went to high school together. Hello.
What the?
Yo, before you hang up, it's us, and because I don't want to go through another fucking phone call again. This took okay, because you were about to hang up,
Van
and it already
can't
took us
get
15
nobody.
minutes to call you. What's up, bro? What's up, Van? Hey, Van, we called you because Charlemagne and Wax.
Schultz wants to talk to somebody about Brexit. I don't know anything about Brexit. Wax wants to know why they're not serving brisket anymore in London. And
I want to know get the balls of the cow.
he talked about cows for 15 minutes because he thought we were talking about brisket. And I don't know anything, and I'm not educated enough on Brexit to discuss it.
Do you know about the Brexit, Van?
Is it like sores?
Yeah, I know the surface information on the Brexit as far as, how it impacts the British economy and maybe the reasons why they voted for the Brexit in Great Britain. I mean, just the surface stuff. I'm not a political scientist, but just the surface shit. What's the question?
You're not the TMZ House political scientist?
No, man.
No, that's not what you do over there at TMZ.
We got to be up on the Brexit. Like, what's the question about it, though?
The question is, why do they not want to be signed to a major anymore? Why do they want to be independent artists?
Because, man, it's xenophobia. There's the European Union in terms of this is the main thing about the Brexit that Americans, in my opinion, should be paying attention to is how quickly a tide can turn from a social construct to something new that you think can't happen. Like, everyone in America who thinks Donald Trump can't be elected president should pay attention to what Britain just did over there. The European Union has existed since pretty much the end of World War II, and they had if you ask me, a thriving economic and diplomatic sort of situation there. But because of, the UK's feeling, not the UK, Great Britain's feeling, England's feeling about, refugees and sort of the really the Muslims and different ethnic groups that live inside of their walls and have been thriving inside the European Union, they voted to leave it. They voted to leave it so they could have a greater control over who they can oppress.
So basically, you can shatter the glass ceiling of government, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, what you can do if you think that, like, people, there's a prevailing belief that at some point with a situation like Donald Trump or any of these other guys, and this is not for me to inject my political beliefs into any particular discussion.
That is the I don't know what Harvey's voting, so I'm not going to shit on Donald Trump because I still work at TMZ.
But what I'm saying is, if you think that it can't get to the point where a guy like that becomes president, look at what just happened over there. There weren't a lot of reasons. As soon as the Brexit vote came down, there was, to me, chaos. economically the money just went to shit.
That is a fact.
Stocks took a major hit, but they didn't really vote on any of those issues. They voted on their personal feelings as far as who they want to share their community with and how easy they want to limit access to certain different things.
So basically, we should be telling other Americans, fuck your feelings. I know you don't like some Mexicans. I know you don't like some Muslims, but putting this guy in the White House to get rid of them will cause other issues in our country.
I mean, yeah, there's this multitude of not just in our country, but outside of our country. You know what I mean? In terms of, you know, if you look at the message that they sent to the entire world. Look at the way their country is being viewed now on the world diplomatic stage.
It's great. They get to be the dummies.
Well, I mean,
we were the dummies for so long. We spent like 75 years being the stupid country, and now we get to pass that off to our predecessors in England. It's a great feeling.
I just wish the people in England knew what they had voted for, because I've talked to a lot of people over there, and they have no idea what they voted for. And some didn't vote at all, but some are like, I don't know what. The people was just telling us this would be the thing to do.
Sound like that's
so they did it.
I think they don't think about repercussions out there because the welfare is so good. Like, I think that they have this, you know, in America, we have this idea, like, if we don't get this shit right, we will starve to death. You could starve to death in America. That's a reality. But out there in England and out there in the UK, you can't starve to death. But I got a lot of family out there that is on welfare, dude, and they're on the dole.
Shows half of America's on welfare.
Yes.
Yeah, and half of America is fucking living below, not half, but a lot of Americans living below the poverty line.
Like 50% of Americans are on some form of welfare.
Sure, and I think some like 18% of them are living below the poverty line. This is a first world. This is a first world country where that shit happens. So my point is, when you grow up with this idea, like you're going to be taken care of, you're going to have, you know, health care, you're going to have all these things. There is a safety net for you. You can vote for this decision to kind of leave without any of these repercussions. Like, oh shit, it might really get bad. Out here in America, we have this idea, yo, it could get bad. You're on your own. Nobody taking care of you. Nobody getting your health care. Nobody getting your hookup.
Hungry.
You might be hungry.
What you think, Van?
I mean, look, the first point that he made, I think, is I'm with that absolutely. That I mean, it makes their society look so bad that it almost kind of takes a little bit of the microscope off of us as far as the lunacy that we have going over here.
Well, we'll be back in November once Trump is president.
That's what I'm saying. At the same time, it puts us in the batter's box of fuck shit. Like, we're up next. Like, and you know, to take a step back and look at what you really know about what's going on. What you said is very poignant and scary in that a lot of people went out and they weren't sure what the fuck they were even voting for.
That's real.
And when we go to the ballot box and you cast your vote and you're voting on all of these little things and you're not ready, you haven't read the brochures, you don't know. You got to know. You have to know the impact that it'll have. There are heartbreaking stories all over the internet of people who now won't be able to survive because of the damage that the Brexit vote has done to their personal finances. If you had a bunch of money that was going to last you for the next 6-8 weeks, sometimes to the end of the semester when you talk about kids that are going to university over there, and then the pound just plummets, you don't have enough bread now. Now, it changed lives immediately, and sort of the repercussions of the things that we do here is not just entertainment. This is policy. This is real. And now we're looking at all kinds of sort of,
I think the reality of the matter is they're not going anywhere. I think there's no way in hell.
The vote's already been casted,
yeah,
right?
But they're not going to do it. They have to enact Article 50 or something like that, which is actually pulling them out. And here's the thing: it's so much work. It is so much work to redo all these trade agreements, redo all these not only trade agreements, but just like economic agreements that they have with all these countries in the world. They have to redo everything. All the European citizens that are currently living in London that are from other European countries, or England rather, or the UK. And all the UK citizens that are actually living in France, Germany, and all these other European countries, what happens to them? There's so much work that has to be done. If there's one thing politicians do not like to do, it's work. And I promise you they will find a way to not do work, and that is staying in the European Union.
Well, y'all got to stop with this power to the people shit. Power to the people is overrated. It should be power to some people.
No,
it should be power to some people, and I'm going to say why.
Whoa. see, Charlamagne, you can't think like that. First of all, Andrew's right. It would take about 2 years for all of this stuff to become
2 years is a very, very, very low estimate. This could take 10 years to rewrite all this shit.
Well, what I've read is if they're vigilant about it, it'll take about 2 years. But whatever, yeah, it's still a process. But my point, Charlamagne, we can't do what you just said though, because that is how America was basically started. America was started, and you read some of the stuff. I challenge everyone to go back and really delve into what the founding fathers really wanted. Guys like Madison and stuff like that. They never really planned for the average man to be able to really dictate what happens in America. They actually thought that was irresponsible. And I'm not making it up. That's documented. That's real.
It is kind of irresponsible in a lot of cases, man.
Now, look, to what Van is saying. No.
Okay, well, hold on.
I want to say this one point. To what Van and Charlamagne are saying is very interesting, right? I always felt like our founding fathers were selfless for giving people the right to control their destiny when they knew they couldn't even fucking read. You don't even imagine how uneducated people were back in the day. The masses couldn't even fucking read, and they were like, they could have easily been dictators like everybody else in history has decided to do, and they took over a country, and they said, no, we're going to give them the power of the vote and let them decide who's going to be president. And we've had presidents that were not within the so-called monarchy in America, like Andrew Jackson, a horrible president, but was elected by the people, not at the establishment.
And he was a horrible president. Let me ask you this, Van.
And which is a good point. He was a horrible president. So
the people don't know what the fuck they be doing 90% of the time.
You know what? That is the one problem with democracy is you let dumb people's votes count just as much as smart people's. And it's
so based on IQ test, your vote should only count a half or 3/4. Or if you're fully capable of making sound decisions, you get a full vote.
Real talk. Isn't that crazy? Like
my bad, Andrew. What I'm saying is, there was a point where it was thought that only wealthy landowners should vote, and just all kinds of things. What I try to impart on people now is the economics that matter now are the ones that are in your brain. You enrich yourself with knowledge, like you in order to be viable on these issues, in order to be powerful on these issues, you just have to. I can't say this enough, and it actually frustrates me. You just have to know what the fuck you're talking about. I think we're moving away from where that's being cool. I think everybody has an opinion on absolutely fucking nothing.
And that's why, Van, we have to take a little power from the people, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, Donald Trump is the GOP nominee, and number two, these nuts was on a lot of ballots and getting a lot of people's votes. So you really want to keep giving power to the people when these nuts is showing up during people's primaries? Huh, Van?
Yes,
yeah, of course.
You got to give it to the people because the people have to reap what they sow. And sometimes you end up being an example for the future. Like right now, we're looking at the UK, right? If you believe in democracy, I know this sucks. If you believe in democracy and most of the people are stupid and ignorant and uneducated, right? And they're making stupid, ignorant, and uneducated decisions, you reap what you sow as a nation. You didn't invest in education. You didn't invest in upbringing these people.
That's real.
So guess what happened?
That's real.
Guess what happened? This is what you create. Like the Republican National Party, say whatever you want about it in America.
The Tea Party.
Well, the Tea Party is the extreme version of that, but the Republican Party, right? They're freaking out right now what's happening with Donald Trump. They don't want Donald Trump to be the nominee, but they created the fan base that is supporting
the
Trump.
rebels.
They created that. They created by, we can go into a whole bunch of different situations, but the point is you created that fan base. You created your party, just as the Democrats have created a fucking annoying politically correct party that everybody does not want to fucking deal with. But the reality of the matter is you've created that. So you reap what you sow. And if you focus more on maybe education and focus more on giving people the information that they need to make sound decisions, guess what you'll get? Sound decisions.
Let me ask you this question, Van. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is this. The real problem is that it's become counterproductive to politicians to have an educated constituency. I think that there's a lot of things that have happened to America in the last 40 to 50 years. Us losing our industry, becoming a banking, financial powerhouse rather than a country that really builds things, all types of things. But the one thing that has really plagued Americans more than anything is the mechanism by which politics work in this country. Because the smarter people are going to hold your feet to the flame about promises that you make and about results that you get. And as politics became a bigger business in America, a huger thing that drives 24-hour news stations, that drives all kinds of stuff like that, it's actually better to have dumber people. The problem is the people who are dumb, or let's not call them dumb, let's call them out of touch. Eventually, if there's a sort of lightning rod to get those people out to vote, like Donald Trump, they will make the wrong decision.
Okay, let me ask you. So Van, if they make the wrong decision in November and Trump gets in the White House and the government says they veto it for whatever reason, no, he can't be president, would you be against that?
Yes.
Absolutely. You have to be.
Just to not be a hypocrite, basically.
No, not even to not be a hypocrite, is that we got rules in the country.
Yeah.
And these rules are what if...
Even though they're making the right decision...
It's right.
People make the wrong decision all the time, dude. This happens in the country, and we have to live with the repercussions of that wrong decision.
I'm not mad at that.
Right.
That's just what it is. You reap what you sow, but you have to leave it up to the people, because once you start becoming a dictator and one person is deciding what the people want, the people don't have any power, freedom of choice.
I mean, look, the question I always ask myself when considering something like that is, where does it stop? Like, what if that would have been enacted 8 years ago, and America goes, you know what, we don't want a black guy. Nah, it's not. We're not ready yet. It's been 50, people say it's 15, 20 years away. I don't agree with Donald Trump, and I think Donald Trump is obviously the wrong decision for America. But if Donald Trump is what we get for the complacency and the laziness and apathy by which the American citizen has lived his or her life for the last 15, 20, 25, 30 years, then so be it. Because not everything lasts forever, and this country that you guys think is going to be around forever won't be here either. Like if you study the history of civilization, every single great empire, country, civilization comes to a head and then falls.
So maybe this is our time, bro.
That was true before nuclear weapons.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that was true before we had the power to just blow up any other country.
Yeah, but it's not about us. It's not about us blowing up other countries. It's about us imploding from the inside.
That could also happen. But I think
that's what you just said is inaccurate.
How you figure?
The Soviet Union was our main sort of opponent in the Cold War. They broke up 20 years ago. And they had
but they were never number one. We're talking about the empire. When we want to talk about it,
they absolutely had an empire.
No, they didn't. There's only one empire.
What are you talking about?
There's only one empire. If we're talking about a globalized world, we're talking about all of us competing for the same resources. We're not talking about.
So China's not an empire?
China's not an empire just yet. No. There's one empire in the world. It's the United States of America. There used to be the Roman Empire. There used to be the Mongolian Empire. There used to be the British Empire. There used to be a British Empire. But currently, right now, there is one empire, and that is America.
But Russia used to be a superpower, though. Russia was a superpower. That's a fact.
But the reality of the matter is that Russia does not even control their own. They don't even control their own situation. If you can't control your own situation, then you're not an empire.
I don't think we can control ours either.
Does Russia put sanctions on us, or do we put sanctions on Russia? That's all you need to ask yourself. Who has the power to put sanctions? What am I talking about? What you can't just say, what are you talking about? You have to know.
Go ahead, Van. Go ahead. What's your point, Van?
This is the question. The question is, at this point, Russia is one country, okay? But at a different point in time, about 25 or 30 years ago, the Soviet Union was made up of a bunch of different countries. It was one big, huge thing like the United States of America. That shit broke the fuck up. And we were going against them. We were competing with them in the world. We threatened the future of the world going back and forth with them for the better part of 50 years. The reason why they broke up is because the ideas that existed inside that country politically became antiquated. Like mass communism just didn't work the way they
But what does that have to do with them being an empire?
No, they weren't. Like what I'm telling you is that a power. A great power.
They were a superpower.
A great power is one thing. A lot of people have great power.
You know what really fucked Russia up?
One second.
Rocky IV absolutely ruined Russia.
There's a lot of boxers that have great power. That doesn't mean that they're the world champ. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there's a lot of countries that have great power. China has great power right now, but they are not an empire. They most likely will be the next empire.
And they should be, because they're in debt. We're in debt to them like a motherfucker. Their education is through the roof.
But right there, the way we became who we were, who we are.
Education.
Even though in America, it's industry. Industry allowed Americans and,
buying power. Buying power is what allowed Americans to be where we are. That's what it came down to. It came down to finances. It came down to literal buying power. When they united the 13 colonies under one, I mean, listen to the Hamilton music if you want to learn more about it. Or there's a great there's a great book by Joseph J. Ellis called The Quartet about the Founding Fathers and how they created the idea of America after we broke off from the UK. But if you want to talk about it, it's just buying power. When the 13 colonies were united under one debtor, which was the United States government, we created the greatest buying force in the world at the time. And it just comes down to buying power. So as long as you have economic buying power, you listen, let me finish. Let me finish. Once you have economic buying power,
the railroad drove us. Like J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller, all of those guys that had singular American ideas that really made our country into this huge boom as far as that's concerned. You can look at Edison, situations like that. All of those guys, those idea men, those industry men, they were all American.
We used to be the hustlers. Now we the fiends.
Exactly. At some point, we went from industry to finance. And as long as you're in the financial sector, as long as that's the biggest thing that you do, someone can always buy you.
Wow, that's real.
But someone can't.
The Chinese are buying up now. The Chinese are buying up, and if we don't we have to have a sense of who we are as a country, first of all. And if we're in here fighting about who we are, and we don't know really what the American ideal is anymore, and we don't have a value structure that matters, and we can't even agree enough to agree what's right and wrong to the lives of the average American, then how can we be strong?
I actually think that having too strong a sense of a singular identity is what caused Britain to leave the European Union in the first place. And I think that's what causes a lot of issues in Europe in the first place. I think one of the reasons why immigrants assimilate so much easier here in America is because we don't have this singular unified identity about what it is to be an American. You go to the South, there's a different idea. You go to the North, there's a different idea. You go to Boston, there's a different idea. You go to California, there's a different idea. So we accept these different ideas so that when immigrants come over here and we see them doing something different, the reaction isn't, you're changing America. The reaction is actually, oh, okay, you're doing that different thing. I hope your food's delicious. I'll be at your restaurant later tonight.
You missed my point. My point is not a singular idea of an American as far as what an American looks like.
I didn't say look like. I said culturally.
Or who they worship. My point is freedom. The singular idea of American is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that everyone is equally entitled to that. As long as we all agree that that's a thing that we're all entitled to, then we can all thrive. That is precisely what they lost in Great Britain. What they lost in Great Britain was the idea that all of their citizens were actually equal. What they decided was, you know what we want to do? We want to restrict some people. We want to restrict their movements. We want to restrict.
How is that different than what America does right now, currently?
That's Andrew.
That's the point.
No. My point is.
My point is that we are also losing that.
Yeah, but we've never had that. We've never had free access to America in history. We've never had that. We've always had very strict borders.
So we've never had really free. I'm talking about us as Americans have never had freedom.
My point is, I'm talking about free access in entry or borders. Like, we can sit here, Americans, and judge England. How dare you not let whoever they want in Europe come into your country? But we ain't letting every Canadian come in. We ain't letting every Mexican come in. We ain't letting all the people that are around us come in. So my point is, we have freedom, like you said. We have these things that are American ideals, like you said, yet we're judging another country for wanting to do the exact same thing that America does.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm taking it as you're saying, Van.
What I'm telling you is that the Brexit should be, the first thing I said was that the Brexit should be a wake-up call that what's happening is entirely possible here.
Yeah.
And not only possible, but probable if we continue down the same line that we're on.
But which is what? Now, like what do you mean?
I think you're saying it's not enough innovation in America anymore. Like innovation as far as like industry is concerned.
For sure. Like twofold. Number one, we do have a lot of innovation going here because the tech world.
The tech world, the weapons.
The weapons don't matter.
Of course, the weapons matter. We create the world's weapons.
And is the tech world? And is the tech world changing?
What are you talking about?
Is the tech world changing the world though?
Andrew,
absolutely.
We don't create the world's weapons though.
Yes, we do. We are the largest weapon supplier in the entire world, Van.
Right.
Supplier.
Of course, that's what we're doing. We're creating the drugs and we sell it.
That's not what Americans are. We're not selling nuclear secrets to people who might get robbed.
No, we sell airplanes, we sell weapons, we sell bombs, that kind of shit like that.
Largely to allies. You think that we would sell weapons to Iraq right now?
Who said that? Who said that? First of all, who said that?
We sell them largely to allies.
Of course we sell them to allies. And we
sell them largely to allies. And when we sell them to them, it's mostly diplomatically. So they're at this kind of. We're not building a worldwide arms. We're not going to take our best stuff and then give it to
Of course not.
And then have to fight them.
Of course not.
All the best stuff is at Stark's Enterprises right now.
Yeah.
That's very true. But my point is that there are a lot of problems with America, and I don't want to go on and on and on. We can talk about that all day. There's a lot of problems there, but there has to be a central realignment of like who we are and what we're doing here. Not just economically is a huge part of it.
Well, here's the thing. When you could say, hey, we need to make more things, but you have to understand the trajectory of a nation. Once a nation gets to a certain comfort level where you want a minimum wage to rise, it just does not behoove that nation to produce certain things at a cost which would be too great for people to purchase them. Hence globalization, hence going to a country where the minimum wage is way less. Therefore, those products can be produced at a price which is way less and purchased around the world for a price that is way less. It does not make sense for people in America at this current point in time to make sandwiches for $15 an hour, to make cars for $15 an hour, when right next door people will do it for $5. So you have to transition in terms of what you make. Instead of making cars, you bank. Instead of making cars, you do finance. You start breaking into other industries. Or maybe
it sounds like we're not making things that are revolutionizing the world anymore.
We are. We're making tech that does that.
I don't know if tech would revolutionize the world the way transportation has. Like planes, trains, automobiles.
I think it was more so. The internet is more revolutionary.
Always the reason why power falls. I didn't say that those reasons didn't make sense. So, I mean, if you're saying that it makes more sense for, I remember one of the first companies was Zenith. Zenith was an American-made TV company. They moved to Mexico. If you're saying that it makes more sense for Nike to build shoes in Singapore or China than it does in America to fill Nike, that's fine. That's great. All of that makes sense, but that it makes sense, but that leads to the end of something in your country. When you're talking about us becoming a speculating country to a degree, like a country that basically deals in like stock speculation and swapping and all of that stuff like that. If you look, it hasn't even been 10 years that we almost lost the entire system. We almost lost the whole thing. And in order to get out of it, we had to have massive bailouts, and we had to sell a part of our soul internationally. Now, Andrew, I'm sorry. As much as you're saying it makes sense, it does. But the fact of the matter is, it's not sustainable. It's just not. And
that's real.
Any of the guys that you read, that you listen to talk to, they will tell you that we are the Titanic. And there's an iceberg in the water.
Like it's only a matter of time before what happens with the Wall Street bailouts and everything, and the banks happens again, basically.
What did you say, Sean? I missed that.
I said it's only a matter of time before we go through another crisis like we had with the banks and the foreclosures and having to bail Wall Street out and all that. It's only a matter of time before that happens again.
I mean, to me, like I said, hopefully not, because that was such a motherfucking clusterfuck. I don't know if the housing market. If we can get behind the 8 ball on the housing market like that again, that has to be a major fuck up. So I'm sure that it can. I'm sure that it's coming, but I don't really have the acumen to know like when. But my point is, things shift and things move. And, like, when things shift and things move, there's got to be someone. This is my main point. There's got to be someone that goes, wait a second. Like, seriously, wait a second. Like, this is getting bad. Just to give you an example of this, if you ever watched The Big Short, if you watched The Big Short, or if you read the book, the guy at the top of that realized that the housing market was going to crash, right? Saw it way before those guys. Did that guy run to anyone and say, hey, guess what's going to happen? In about 6 years, everybody's going to lose their home? No. You know what he did? He bet against it. Like, it was like the whole world was going to come to an end. As we knew it, everyone was going to lose homes and jobs. You're going to go to the bank and wasn't going to be no motherfucking money in that bitch. And he took his fund and bet against it to enrich himself.
Yes.
Now, I'm not against anybody making a buck, but god damn, homie.
Yeah, you got to do what's best for the whole fucking free world, bro.
Yeah, and
anybody making a buck, but motherfucker, come
oh
on.
yeah, I hated that movie, how they made those guys look to be heroes. I thought they're all pieces of fucking garbage, every single last one of them. But the reality of the matter is there were a lot of people that warned the government that this housing bubble was going to come to a point where it had to pop. And there was a lot of people that warned them.
Guys have the math, though.
Say again?
There's only a handful of guys have the math. There's a lot of guys saying, hey, this is coming, but there's only a handful of guys that were articulate enough and geniuses enough at it to actually have the math to be able to show them how it was going to come to an end. And those, and in my opinion, I remember watching that, because then I didn't, when I read the book after that, I remember watching that and going, fuck me, really? Like, dude, I love money. I want to be rich. I just went to an open house this Sunday, and as soon as I left the open house, I texted Charlamagne, like, fuck, what the fuck am I doing? But, like, if I knew that 6 years from now, 10 years from now, that you were going to lose your house, and Wax was going to lose whatever house he had ran in and took all the people hostage and held them up or whatever, and Charlamagne was going to lose his house, and everybody.
Hey, don't you put that in the air?
What I'm saying is, if I knew that, I would tell somebody.
Yeah.
And before I tried to enrich not only myself and 15 other guys that were in a hedge fund with me, before I tried to enrich myself on that and bet against it and create a whole new way of making money by default swapping, before I invented something new to get rich, I would think about the lives of people.
Yeah, that's because you're a human being, Van.
Well, congrats, Van. You're learning how Wall Street works.
You're a God-fearing human being.
This is how our banking industry works. This is what it's all based on right now, is shorting stocks and making large sums of money in a very short amount of time. This is how hedge funds function.
And that's why most of them motherfuckers is in jail.
They should be. I don't even know why you're allowed to short.
That's why Bernie Madoff is in fucking jail.
Well, I mean, that's a different situation.
What I'm saying is that's all great. And like I said, not against anybody making a buck. They made a lot of money. They made more money than, whatever. They made a lot of money. But I'm saying there was a point. Like, you can even look, excuse me, here in Los Angeles. Like, there's tons of great documentaries on how Compton and South Central Los Angeles was thriving when the tire plants were there, when Firestone was there, when the people that lived in.
You can look at Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they had places to work, you think they wanted to rob? Like, you think niggas want to go out, and you think they really want to do that? Now, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you have to believe something really seedy about people if you want to believe that they want to do the things that they're doing now. No, because when there were different options, they took a different path. And if we want to be like, yo, cool, everything moved to New York, we're going to put all of our wealth in fucking 2 square miles of the biggest city in our country. That's fine. Cool. It's just not going to work. That's it. It's not going to work.
So what is your suggestion? You want to go back to planting tomatoes? Everybody get a farm? Like,
that's not a bad idea, though. By the way,
I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's just not realistic.
For personal
sure.
families. I'm all about a garden and farms and having your own animals and things like that. just because.
I'm with you on that regard, but the reality of the matter is people can, knock Wall Street and they can knock, big business and they can knock globalization all they want, but they don't want to give up their lifestyle. The reality of the matter is that we all have a certain lifestyle because of these things. We all pay $2.50 for gas because of these things. You want to pay $8 for gas like they do in fucking Iceland? Do you want to do that? Do you want to have, are you willing to live with the worst case scenario? And that's a thing. We can sit here and judge all we want, but have air conditioning that's cheap. We can sit here and judge all we want, but buy sneakers that are cheap.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
You pointed out who the bad guys are. You didn't point out how you deal with the bad guys. And that is the issue.
I'm not an economist. I'm a nigga who talks shit for a living. I'm not an economist. But that doesn't mean.
So my point is, anybody could talk shit.
I mean, that's what we all do. None of us are experts.
You know what I'm saying? My point is, it's easy to talk shit.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, my point is nobody. Listen, if you want me to go back to grad school and figure out how to fix the financial sector, then fuck it.
I see. I know what you're saying, Van. You're basically saying nobody's paying attention to what could happen.
Right. What I'm saying.
Simple as that.
All, no one's paying attention to what did happen. We're not talking in a hypothetical. It actually happened. We have to it actually happened, and we made it through. This is not my main point is that this is not optimal. Now as far as how we get things back, it would take. He's right. Andrew is 1,000% right. It would take some people making some sacrifices, but it wouldn't take you making any. It wouldn't take Charlamagne making any. It wouldn't take me making any.
Oh, it would.
It would take people making sacrifices who are already so wealthy beyond our wildest dreams that the sacrifices that we're talking about wouldn't affect their way of life.
That's actually not accurate at all.
That's the Bernie Sanders theory.
The people that, you have a Bernie Sanders theory, which I think
Hold on, let's pay some bills real quick.
I want to make this point.
No, because we're not going to take another 10 minutes.
I want to make this point. The point is that we can all act like they're the only people that will be affected, but in reality, they'll be the least effective because they have the money to pay for it. The person who's affected is the person that's going to have to pay $250 for sneakers when he was paying $150.
Nigga, we paying $250 for sneakers.
That is a fact.
So my point is, so those sneakers are going to even be more expensive. The person.
Wait, Andrew, they're making the sneakers for $9 now and selling them for $275.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate.
That is accurate.
No, it's not accurate. It's
accurate.
No, it's not. It's a $60 sneaker. It's a $60.
To make Jordans?
Yeah, it's a $60 sneaker.
No way.
It is. Make a pair of Jordans, Andrew?
Well, it depends, but I imagine it's probably around $35.
Okay, let's say that it's $35.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that it's $35.
Sure.
I know that it's less, but let's say that it's $35.
Mm-hmm.
The Jordans that you go out and buy, the shoes that you go out and buy, are over $200.
Sure.
So what you just said, as far as us paying, that's now.
Sure.
Now, I'm not down for redistributing wealth or anything like that. I'm not down for that at all. But I'm saying there's got to be a solution here.
We
can't just say, "Oh, fuck it, that's the way things go."
No, I'm not saying fuck it, that's the way things go. There are solutions here, but we have to be able to live with the best case scenario.
By the way,
for example, if you start paying, if everybody at Foot Locker makes $10 an hour when they sell the sneakers, and now they're going to go up to $15 an hour, that's a 50% raise in their wage. So you can look at that reflected by at least a 30% raise in the price of sneakers. So do we want to see a 30% raise in the price of sneakers? What we always do is we go, well, yeah, let's just pay everybody more money an hour. And they're like, well, yeah, shit's going to cost more. And then we're like, whoa, what you mean it's going to cost more? That's how math works? Yes, that's how math works. So while I'm willing to give up some money because I can afford it, the person who makes $30,000 a year might not be able to afford that thing.
By the way, Air Jordans are manufactured in China for $16 a pair.
Depends.
And that's just Air Jordans.
They're manufactured there for $16 there, and then they need to be shipped across the world to America. How much does that shipping cost? They need to be stored in different parts of America. How much does that storage cost? Then they need to be sent from those storage units to each one of those stores. How much does that cost?
Love you to death. They're making a killing on Air Jordans.
I'm not saying they're not making a killing. Hey, I'm not saying they're not making a killing, but don't think for a second they won't keep making a killing at our cost. Can you live with the worst case scenario?
As far as the minimum wage argument goes, I think a fundamental problem that we're looking at is in America is people who are making a living off minimum wage, period. Like if you're making and this is another situation that we get back to with the lack of viable industries here. It used to be that you could take an unskilled worker, teach him how to make something, let him gain a craft in a situation where his work actually has value. You're making tires for a car. You're making windshield for a car. You're making an engine for a fucking rocket. You're doing stuff. Like you're building things. Like you have a viable, teachable, actual skill that then reinvest back in society. When you don't have that, niggas have to sell sneakers. And the fact of the matter is, selling a sneaker is just not that valuable a skill. Shout out to everyone working at Foot Locker. Shout out to everyone working at those places. It's just not that valuable a skill. You're displaying.
So that's what I'm wondering about tech. Like y'all keep talking about this tech thing. Tech don't sound like it's revolutionizing the world the way transportation did. Now I'm gonna tell you what could revolutionize the world if Elon Musk creates this Hyperloop in America.
Sure,
that shit could fucking make us shoot America back to the top.
If he builds the Hyperloop, then people got to build the Hyperloop.
Word up.
Like people, you know what I'm saying? But we need the Elon Musk. Guys like that. I know a guy who designs cars over at Tesla. I know Tesla is putting people to work. Now it's not as big of a deal, But like we need American ingenuity to survive.
But we also need to change with the times. So if we notice that our jobs are switching from manual labor to tech-based positions, we need to educate people and give them the skills through education to do those jobs. Just like in the past, what you're recommending is we're like, why don't we have more people to make shit? Well, guess what? We don't make shit anymore. We do tech. So we need to take those people who are skilled laborers and make their skill a tech skill. And that is up to us as a nation to transition with the transition of our economy. We can't just sit here and go, well, why aren't people making tires anymore? Because we don't make tires out here. We make apps.
No.
So let's make some apps and educate people into the apps.
Schultz is right, but everybody can't do that. Like we do need people that are still revolutionizing, transportation, revolutionizing planes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you need everything.
If that's what we're doing right now, we need to educate the masses to do jobs that are in that field.
Maybe America fucked up because we started focusing on entertainment so goddamn much.
We too entertaining.
Maybe
there's a lot of things. Listen, here's the thing, though.
All right, hold on 1 second, Van. We're going to pay this ad. We're going to pay this ad.
Hold on. This is a young man who's innovating.
Exactly.
His name is Tristan Walker. All right, and Bevel for sponsoring. Salute to them for sponsoring this week's episode. Up to 80% of black men and women experience razor bumps, and up to 30% of all men and women experience razor bumps as well. Now, Mick Cortez Mike tweeted us saying, "This better work, or my black bumpy ass gonna see y'all." Wow. Well, Mike, I don't know nothing about your black bumpy ass, but if you're using Bevel, then those bumps are about to be a thing of the past, okay? Bevel is clinically proven to prevent and reduce razor bumps. Even the ladies like to use the Bevel razor to keep their pussy smooth.
That's very true. Shout out to at JSTNCL RK, I guess that's Justin Clark, and all the other fans who hit us up during the finals to say that LeBron needs a bevel. He won the chip in Cleveland, all right? Now, he should be confident to let that hairline go. He doesn't need it anymore. He doesn't have that braille neck. So whether it's a baller or just that regular guy in your life, if you see the need to shave it off or get those razor bumps under control or simply get a smoother shave, make sure they've got a bevel in their life. You can save 20% off the first month of your Bevel subscription by going to getbevel.com and using the promo code IDIOTS20. That's GETBEVEL.com. Promo code IDIOTS20. Start shaving smart today with Bevel.
Now listen, let's switch topics a little bit. Just real, I want to talk about Jesse Williams' speech at the BET Awards.
Yes.
And I want to talk about Justin Timberlake being attacked.
Yes.
Okay.
More Twitter talk. Yay. Yay. We get to talk about tweets.
What are they saying? What is this actually about America? They're saying got nothing to do with tweets. This is about equality, inequality, and people having the right to voice their opinions because that is what's going to create new ideas and new innovation. People can't be afraid to talk, period. So what do you think, Van? What are they saying in the offices at TMZ?
I don't know. Like they I think everyone in the office. Everybody in our offices was incredibly moved by what Jesse had to say. I think that there's been a lot of discussion since he said what he said about the sort of image that was used to deliver the message. And
what you mean?
Collateral damage.
What you mean?
The fact that he's light skinned with blue eyes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of white privilege that goes into Jesse, and people pay attention because we love white people.
You think that's why?
Man, Killer Mike and David Banner have been saying the exact same things Jesse said. Well, Minister Farrakhan, then nobody ever paid them any attention.
That's so funny because first of all,
and I like Jesse. I'm not trying to knock him at all, but
let me tell you something. I'm more than Jesse. Andrew, remember when we went up here and Hoops in Hollywood?
Yeah.
When you meet him? He hoops out here.
Right.
Like, he hasn't been there in a while, but like what you heard from Jesse is all real, man. Me and Jesse have had several conversations up there about his passionate. This is emanating from his soul. He's had specific.
That's who he is.
That's who he is.
That's who he is.
Nothing that happened up there was inauthentic at all.
And by the way, he has no reason to do that other than he cares.
Absolutely. You're talking about a dude in the middle of his run. He's on a big, huge network show. He got to go stand in rooms with people as the militant black dude now. Yep. Or the militant baby.
He's on Grey's Anatomy, if everybody doesn't know. And I'll be honest, that speech was so beautifully written, I thought Shonda wrote it herself.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was gorgeous, the speech. I mean, hit everything.
He had bars. He had bars.
And I think here's the thing about that speech, which I didn't chalk it up to him being light-skinned and that getting all the awareness, I guess, of the speech. What I chalked it up to is he had specific bars. It was almost like a battle rap. And when you have specific bars, that permeates people's hearts, it permeates their brains. And I remember watching this shit and going, wow, this guy's saying everything that has been said at a Killer Mike show, everything's been said at a Black Lives Matter protest, everything's been said at a Bernie Sanders rally.
He looks less threatening.
All these, it's not about looks. He had the digestible form for it. He had the apple pie.
He's admitted to having mixed breed privilege. And it is a lot to do.
Oh, he absolutely
The first thing when you called me, you said, he's not threatening. And that's a lot. That means a lot.
I said two things. I said two things. I said, one, I think, to be honest, I think Jesse Williams has the most privilege of anybody because I don't think that he gets the negative stigma of black people because he's so non-threatening looking.
He has blue eyes.
He's so handsome, right? I don't think he goes through what Wax goes through, right? Which is, constant prejudice.
Wax walk on that stage like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly, Wax. Right? And then on the other end, I think
because we're magic don't mean it's not chicken. Like, what?
They're listening to a lot of things I say.
And then I think on the other end, I think that he benefits from the fact that there are a lot of white people out there that out of white guilt and out of a fear of being racist, go out of their way to treat people of color better because they're so frightened of being racist. So I think he benefits from that as well. So I think in a way, there's a lot of privilege that goes into Jesse Williams. Regardless, this dude gave a beautifully crafted speech that really was inspiring and touched people and deserves credit for that.
He was able to do something that no one has really, in my opinion, been able to do. And maybe for some of the reasons that we're talking about, he was able to sort of crystallize the entire moment in one specific real talk session. We've heard a lot of different sort of interpretations of what Black Lives Matter is, and not even so limited to Black Lives Matter or anything like that. We haven't heard the definitive sort of word on what it is that's wanted and needed and the perception.
See, I don't agree with that, man, because I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of people do it in tweets, but what I'm saying is, I didn't really hear any solutions. I heard. The problems presented, and I heard demands of what we want, but how do we get there?
He didn't have the opportunity, once again, like we talked about this, he didn't have the opportunity to do a PowerPoint. But what he did was, on a national stage, and this is what I'm talking about. Man, D-Ray and Killer Mike, David Banner, all of these people, feet to the pavement, been there for a while. Netta, all of these people, been doing it for a while. Even Sean King, even though you guys want to fucking fillet him every time he opens up his mouth. You know what I'm saying? But, been doing this for a while. But I'm saying on a national stage where it penetrated pop culture and everyone was sort of listening, part of that has to do with people watching for the Prince tribute. You haven't really been able to kind of get it like that. But I will say this. I've been pouring over because you were the first person to kind of put that idea in my head. I've been kind of pouring over what the image really means for a while. And Jesse was sincere, and the message is more important than who delivers it, for sure. But it does kind of mean something that it took him. I don't know what it means.
He just said it better than everybody.
That's not true.
He just said it better than everybody.
We say it all the time. Right message, wrong messenger. So image does play a big part.
In this situation, he said it better than everybody.
He didn't, though.
He really did.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not
name
going to say
someone
that.
who said it better.
Killer Mike is very eloquent, very articulate.
Hasn't said it this well.
That's not true.
He just hasn't.
That's not true.
He hasn't said
David
it.
Banner, very eloquent, very articulate. Minister Farrakhan for 80 years.
No one spits that shit to me. Killer Mike spits that shit as well as anybody.
Yes,
but not better than Jesse. Man.
Yes, he does.
Not better, and not on that platform. He didn't have that platform, that situation.
He's had bigger. He's had allegedly bigger platforms.
Where?
The freaking View. The View's huge.
Wow, that's true.
Killer Mike's been on there saying the exact same stuff.
He didn't say
Killer Mike's been on CNN.
He didn't say it in a digestible form like that was. And I think Killer Mike, and this is almost to his credit, you could argue, is that he's saying this conversationally when he's on The View. He's saying this conversationally when he's on Brilliant Idiots. He is limited to the conversation that's happening on that show. But Jesse went up there with a script. Jesse went up there with a song. He went up there with a speech and was able to deliver that speech.
Listen, I'm not trying to. I'm not pitting any of the brothers together. I'm gladJesse's message went through. But
I want to make sure that.
Well, I mean, that is what you guys are doing. Let's just point that out.
No.
Let's absolutely point that out.
No, I'm just saying that Killer Mike has been on those stages. He's spoken at Bernie Sanders rallies and had scripts or whatever you want to say. But I'm just saying what I was trying to figure out, because I want it to happen more, is why did this message penetrate?
Why can't it just be the best? Why can't you just accept that maybe he was the best?
It can't be about that.
Why? Why can't it? Because he's light skinned. Because he's mixed. If he wasn't mixed, this wouldn't be an issue.
It's got to be deeper than that, Schultz.
No,
like, that's surface.
Y'all are so fucking phony.
That's surface and silly.
So phony, man. This
that's
shit
surface
is so
and
phony.
That's surface and silly. It got to be more than that. I don't care that Jesse. Minister Farrakhan's light skinned. So why would I care about the light skin? It has nothing to do with that.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you.
We're only talking about this because he got blue eyes and a white mom. If he didn't, we'd just be going, oh, this man is great, and what a great speech. But you're going to take away something from him because he got blue eyes and a white mom.
No, we're not. We want to see more of it.
That's sad,
so we're trying to figure out how can we penetrate to dumb motherfucking white people who don't get it.
Why is it
that's exactly what it is.
Why is it? Because it penetrated to those white people.
And that's what I'm saying. I want to see more of it. Why?
So then ask Jesse to do more, because he does it better than everybody.
All right, we will.
So why can't that just be the takeaway?
That's why I posted this picture right here yesterday.
Now you're qualifying your support. You don't need to qualify your support to me.
No. That's why I posted this picture yesterday.
Oh, I saw it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I want, if Jesse's going to be the guy, we're going to get behind him 100%.
Because right
and
now,
I want him talking to people like Minister Farrakhan so he can get more of that wisdom and more of that guidance.
That sounds good.
If that's what y'all listening to, that's what I want.
That sounds good after I call you out on it. But before I call you out on it, it's like, well, I think it's like this because of white privilege or because he's light-skinned or whatever. Why does that even matter, yo? If the message is right and the dude is, why can't he be black enough for y'all? That's the question.
You know what it is, Van? Talking about Van. You know what it is? Van, you know what we messed up? We're having a conversation we should be having amongst each other in public.
What do you mean?
Like, this is a conversation we should be having amongst each other. Like, okay, how do we get more of this? Yeah, was it because Jesse was this? Like, what is it? We need to figure it out. Like, this is the conversation we should be having amongst each other.
Right.
Why?
It's true, but like, my point is, you can't take anything away from Jesse. What Jesse did God's work on that stage, man. He did God's work on that stage. You can't take anything away from. I think though, as black people, every time, the last thing we should do as black people in any situation is not ask questions. We always have to ask questions. We always have to ask questions because we have to ask questions when we fail as a community to figure out how we're going to succeed. And we have to ask questions when we succeed to figure out how we're going to succeed again. Okay?
That's true.
The answer is not put Jesse Williams everywhere. That don't work. That's not going to work. The answer is not put Jesse Williams. It's not going to work.
And that's based off what we've seen in the past, because whenever it's just when it's one singular leader, once they take him out, it's over.
Right. Or once they discredit him.
Once they discredit him, very true.
So that's not going to work. So we have to figure out why what Jesse did penetrated so much.
Simple.
And why can't you just accept that he had a great speech and delivered it beautifully? Why are you looking for this ulterior motive here that maybe is his skin color that you guys brought up, not me? Because I looked at that pure meritocracy.
So it's the first thing when you called me, the first thing you said was he doesn't look threatening. That's the first thing out your mouth.
That's actually not the first thing.
Absolutely. Stop it,
And you know the first thing I said.
The first thing you said was he don't look threatening.
No,
you said it was a great speech and he doesn't look threatening.
No. There was something I said. I didn't know that he was black.
And then what was the next one? Why did you say he don't look threatening?
I didn't know he was black. I knew he was mixed with something, but I wasn't sure that he was black.
Okay.
And I didn't know that. Then I said the exact thing that I just quoted right here, which is I think that Jesse has a lot of privilege. Right,
and you
by
said
the fact that he's
one,
he doesn't look threatening, and I used the specific wax example I just said right now. Does that have?
So we're saying the same thing?
No.
Yes, we are.
No. Very different things.
How?
Very different things. Because you're saying what I said to me.
So when you say he don't look threatening, what do you mean?
Would you like me to say what I'm saying?
Yes. What do you mean?
What I mean is when he doesn't look threatening, he doesn't go through the same thing that wax goes through.
What does that got to do with aesthetics? You said look. Words mean something, Schultz. When you say he don't look threatening, what does that mean?
That he doesn't have to go through the same thing wax goes through?
What does that mean? No, you're two different points.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
If I had that message,
let me answer this one question with Charlamagne, because you were trying to get something out of me, which I'm not.
I'm asking a simple question. You said he doesn't look threatening.
Yeah, some people don't.
So wax looks threatening. Why does wax look threatening?
Because he's 6'4", 240 pounds.
And why does Jesse not look threatening?
Because he's got blue eyes.
Why does wax not look threatening to you? Because you guys clearly have a different.
So why does Jesse not?
Charlamagne doesn't. Let me answer the question.
So why does Jesse not look threatening?
Because to be honest, Jesse Williams doesn't look threatening.
That's not why wax looks threatening. That's not why wax looks threatening. Does John Cena look threatening?
John Cena's 5'8".
That's not why wax looks threatening.
Charlamagne doesn't look threatening to me.
I just want Schultz to answer the question, because why does Jesse not look threatening, Schultz?
Because to me, I look at Jesse Williams, and I don't think that he could do anything harmful to me because I think I could beat him up. There's a reality for me, which is this.
He's dancing.
Which is this. You can say I'm dancing, but threat to me is two things.
Okay.
Or just actually one thing is, can this person do anything to harm me? I look at Jesse Williams and I go, no, I don't. Whether they will or not, it has nothing to do with it. It's in a situation, can this person do anything to harm me? Me personally, Wax, I think, could beat me up, okay? I think he could beat me up. Jesse Williams, I'll take my chances. So that for me, I don't think that person is threatening. Now, that's a specific thing for me. Andrew Schultz.
Brittany Griner looks like she could beat you up, Schultz.
Nah, stop playing. Stop playing.
Brittany Griner looks like she could beat you up, Schultz.
Stop playing.
Brittany Griner, what's the piss out of you?
Stop playing. Stop. You guys are really.
Brittany Griner. Why can't Brittany Griner beat you up, Schultz?
Well, because I will beat the shit out of Brittany Griner.
I would never.
You gonna beat the girl up?
I never beat.
So full of shit.
How am I full of shit?
So why couldn't she beat you?
Because she's a woman.
Oh, okay.
There's no girl.
Absolutely. There's a difference in physicality between men and women. Are we going to not deny this kind of shit? Why don't you guys stop being phony for one fucking second?
You stop being phony and just say that Wax looks threatening because he's big and black, and Jesse doesn't because he's light skinned with blue eyes. Because we're all discussing image.
Let me tell you something. There's a reality of the matter. If Wax was just as skinny and just as tall as Jesse, and look, he would be way less threatening a human being than this guy. If you take some big fucking white dude who's diesel as fuck and looks exactly like Wax, he's going to be way more threatening to me personally. Now, you're speaking... Calm down for 1 second, Van, 1 second. Here's the reality. You're speaking to someone who grew up around black people. When I look at black people, it is not this foreign thing that I go for, oh, how are they portrayed in the movies? How are they portrayed on TV? You're talking to the wrong guy for that argument. Now, if you want to talk about... Van, let me finish.
Schultz is already done.
Let me finish.
He's done, but he's going to keep going.
Here's the reality. Now, if you're talking to someone who's never seen black people in real life or does not interact with black people in real life, yes, I can understand how they look at Wax and they look at him as a more threatening character because he looks like the threatening characters he's seen in music or television, and looks at Jesse and goes, oh, I don't think he's very threatening because the characters that I've seen Jesse play or who look like the person that Jesse is, he's less threatening. He has blue eyes. Oh, he is more quote-unquote white-looking or something like that, and they use their racist tendencies there. But now that's different situations that you're presenting. Do you understand the difference?
No. My retort to that is two things. Number one, I am talking to the right guy, and I know that, but I think it's actually backwards. I think that you grew up around so many black people, you know which ones will fuck you up. I think that to most white people, we're all threatening. All of us are. All of us are, except for the Jesse Williamses. But the reason why you know that Wax is threatening, I'm 6'4", 230 pounds. I bet you're not threatened by me. because you know, and I'm big. I'm a big fucking dude. But you know that I don't even look like the type of nigga that would really get off on you just for fun. And God bless his heart, Wax does. Wax looks like the type of nigga that goes, you know what? I'm bored. I'm going to fuck somebody up today and laugh about it. And he could do it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Why do you think Wax looks like that?
Because he fits. You know why? Because he fits the profile especially to America, of guys who have done that before.
But you said he looks like that.
Like we're sitting here acting like image don't matter. Like, you know, I would never vote for Governor Christie because he's fat and fucking sloppy. He don't even look fucking presidential.
Sure,
nothing about him.
I'm not gonna sit here and be stupid. I know, like I'm from South Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but there is a look to niggas who pop shit. There is a look amongst black people. We can tell the difference. White people, that's the thing. We can't sit here and act like they're not like you. Like when I mentor kids, when the kids come to me and they have like a big Compton tattoo across their cheek, they go, "Okay, what do I have to do to be like you?" I said, "The first thing you gotta do is go get the Compton tattoo removed off your fucking."
That's a fact. And you know what they call that in our community? Respectability politics, which is the dumbest shit in the world.
Listen, no. I would love to live in a world where the Compton tattoo didn't mean that you were automatically judged. And that's the world we should be living in. But if you're asking me how to succeed in the world that we currently reside, then we got to go to Dr. Tatoff. Are you in or not? I'll pay for it. Like, if you're asking me how we do this, I have to be real with you, okay? So the reality is we know what the situation is. What we kind of get rail against is that we're judged like that by all white people. By all white people. All white people see me and they see a threat. They see Charlamagne. They see
That's a bullshit statement, Van.
Oh, I'm going to say this too. Van, real quick.
Why? How are you going to say all white people think a certain way? Why would you judge all white people by the lowest common denominator of white people and then be upset at white people when they judge you by the lowest common denominator of black people? That's the bullshit hypocrisy that we fucking deal with, is that you can't expect one thing from one person and not expect it from yourself. And we are perfectly fine with judging all white people by this one standard, but the second white people judge anybody else by a standard, they're racist pieces of shit. So you need to hold yourself to the same standard. Be accountable. Absolutely.
You do it too.
I do what?
The same thing.
Give me an example of how I do it.
Calling people broke, calling people that don't like cultural appropriation broke.
Yeah.
You're saying that all broke people are cultural appropriators.
No, I'm saying that the people that don't like it are making up for the fact that they're upset about their lives. They're upset about their lives.
That's a generalization that you can't make.
You're right. I did make a generalization.
You can't say everybody who's against cultural appropriation is broke.
Why not? Why can't I say that there's a common denominator?
But it's wrong, just like how you told Van just now.
Why not? But why can't I say there's a common denominator there?
That's all Van is saying.
Yeah, but my point right there has to do with a financial status that does not dictate your race.
I don't agree with cultural appropriation all the time. Neither does Van. We got money.
What you trying to say, though? No, what you trying to say? You don't agree with it all the time. What do you mean?
I don't agree with it all the time. I think sometimes people do culturally appropriate culture.
Like?
And you said that people who are against cultural appropriation.
No, I said people who complain on Twitter about cultural appropriation are broke.
So it's just social media?
Yeah, because you're upset at your life and you're broke and you need some excuse for why you're upset and you're broke and it's cultural appropriation.
So what about musicians who make hundreds of thousands of dollars of shows who complain about culture?
Like who?
Just people, artists.
Like who?
J. Cole.
Wait. J. Cole has a whole verse devoted to cultural appropriation. What about
you?
I got to listen to the verse to hear exactly what he has to say.
He calls the artists out. He calls out Macklemore. He calls out Iggy. He calls out Justin Timberlake. Elvis, Eminem.
But I have to hear the exact words because I don't want to pigeonhole him into an argument that he might not be saying. If I heard the exact words.
No. What he said is, he named off a bunch of different people, all white, and he says, I'm probably going to the Grammys and watch Iggy take the Grammys on and have to crack a smile.
Yep.
He's talking about people coming into hip-hop and culturally appropriating hip-hop and him not getting his props. J. Cole is far from broke. Explain it.
Yeah, but I don't see that statement right there saying that there's anything about cultural appropriation.
The whole verse is about cultural appropriation.
I'll probably go to the Grammys and see Iggy take home the award. To me, that's a statement.
This was like a whole big.
To me, that is a statement off of how out of touch the Grammy judges are, not about cultural appropriation.
He's never heard the verse.
But I need to hear the verse in order to make an honest judgment. I'm not going to just say how I feel about somebody who said something if I don't know what the fuck he said.
Let's be clear. This is the moral of the story. What you said to Van was absolutely right about what he said about white people. And when you say about cultural appropriation, you say people who complain about cultural appropriation on Twitter are broke. That's a generalization too.
Yeah, so, and I'm comfortable standing behind that generalization.
Wait.
It will say that.
I said that. I just said that to you.
Can I clarify what I meant?
Sure.
This is what I meant. This is what I meant. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as black people, and I'm going to talk about the people that I know in my community. I'm not going to talk about black guys from Detroit and all over the place. What we feel like there's the guys that I like, people in my community, feel like there's a greater sort of society, right? Not a greater as in sort of greater than us, but a larger society that controls access and entry to different situations. They control whether or not you have a job. You have to go to a job interview. You have to talk to a white guy. They control like your freedom, how you move. When you deal with cops, normally a white guy. They control almost every single different sector of society. Mm-hmm. And when you're in front of those people, you feel judged. You feel like a lot of times when you go for a job interview, you feel judged. When you're in front of a police officer, you feel judged. Any other place, when you're in school and your teachers are white, you feel like they're ascribing something onto you based on you being black. And the reason why you feel that, even me, a guy who was in the gifted programs and was educated with the white kids and stuff like that, like the reason why you feel that way is because of things that they might say to you, because of ways that they might be to you, because of situations that you're in. So when you say white people, you don't mean every single white person. What you mean is the totality of a society that is dictated by white people. That's what you mean.
Sure.
Is it fair to all white people? No, it's not. But how the fuck we gonna talk about fair? If we about to talk about fair, we gotta loop this argument way the fuck.
We all profile. That's the problem.
No, hold on. That's bullshit. Be the change that you want to see in the world. We always say that kind of shit, and it sounds great.
Michael Jackson wrote "Man in the Mirror" years ago.
You're saying how are we going to be about fair? You're basically making the argument, hey, it wasn't fair to us, so why should we be fair to you? That's not how this shit works.
I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the realities remain.
That's it.
Fair isn't in the equation. Like what I'm saying is, if you really feel that way, now it's a bunch of niggas running around talking that shit because they're not applying themselves. I'm not above admitting that. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of white people talking shit about immigrants taking their job because they're not applying themselves. Mm-hmm. I'm with that too. But what I'm saying is those feelings that black people have, those feelings that the people that I grew up with around us they have, we didn't make them up. We really didn't. Like, for real.
Nobody's saying that you made them up. Nobody's saying you made them up. I just think that maybe my life was different than yours growing up. But when I grew up, I had teachers of different color. I had black teachers. I had Latino teachers. When I was applying for jobs and I had jobs, I worked for Latinos. I had bosses that were black. So it's not. Matter of fact, when I grew up here in New York City, the cops that I saw were incredibly diverse. It wasn't 1950s where it's just Irish cops. You see Chinese cops. You see black cops. You see all these things all the time.
New York is the great American melting pot. You cannot live in New York and have a broad view of what America is.
Fair.
You just can't.
Sure, but you have to understand. But you have to understand is, as someone who did grow up in New York, and there are a lot of us that grew up in New York and grew up in places that are similar to New York in that regard. When you when you say these statements like, I'm a black person and I didn't have, I don't see black teachers and I don't see black people in the hiring us and I don't see all these other things. You're sending a message out, and I know that you have great intentions with it, but you're sending a message out like there aren't black people doing those things. No, and that's not fair to impressionable people.
That's not what he's saying. He's just speaking from his experiences. I grew up in South Carolina. Confederate flag flying over the State House lawn, highways and buildings named after notorious racists like Strom Thurmond.
Yep.
Hey, street I grew up on, General Jackson. There's a real story. When I was in the third grade, like a kid, not even formulating thought, teachers talking to my mother or something like that. Like they get to talk about where my dad is from. My dad is from like out in Maryland. There's a family out there, family full of white people that we're related to. Old-time slavery shit. The Ventures family. We're related to them. The teacher is a Ventures. She was a Ventures. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my mom was like, oh, like his parents, like his dad is related to you guys. They talking out the whole thing. They're having a conversation about me, like, dead in the elite test because I'm about to get put in the gifted program. Oh, she goes, oh, so like, and she goes, wow, this word was spoken. She goes, wow, that explains like why he's so smart, why he's able to keep up with the other kids. And my mother, I smiled because I didn't realize what the ramifications of that were. I was like, oh, another compliment from the teacher who was on my dick the entire year. I will never forget this. I smiled. I get back into the car. My mom was crying because in that moment she didn't realize what she should have said and how to get from under that, and the fact that that's the system her son has to grow up in. That lady before that moment was an absolute angel to me, had done most for me. She was the reason why pupil appraisal came down to to look at me, to put me in the program. But the reason why she was doing it is because she had found the one little nigga that rose above the rest. It had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the fact that she was judging me before I even sat down there. She thought I was different from the rest of them. Different because of what she already thought of the rest of them. Those kind of common threads, they go on through your life. Maybe not that heavy-handed, but they did. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't look at you. You my man, Andrew. I don't look at you differently because you're white. I don't look at anybody. I've been given a lot of opportunity by white people. Let's keep it all the way real. But the reality of the situation is, when you step back and you look at shit, you gotta, to be real, you gotta call a spade a spade. And everybody has to be responsible for what it is that they're gonna do to change it. But we can't change it by platitudes. We got to look it in the fucking face, man.
That's real.
I agree with you, and I think that in order to make change, we need unity, and that's not just in the black community or Latino community or Asian community or white community. It's all of us coming together. And I think what happens is when you speak about white people as if they are only the lowest common denominator of white people, as if they are only the bad white people, and you attribute those qualities to all white people, you don't get support from white people.
I think it's
you get on some real shit. You get, I think, low-key resentment because there are a lot of white people that do not relate to those white people you're talking about, and I think that we need to make a conscious effort to include white people into this movement and include white people in their support instead of alienating them. And that's why I'm calling you guys out when you talk about white people in that way.
I'm the guy who came to Justin Timberlake's defense and got called a coon for it because I believe, and I've been saying this, we do need white people to stand up and be involved. We need white people to say, look, this is wrong. Why? Because the great Martin Luther King Jr. said, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We're all Americans. We have to stop looking at this as a black problem, stop looking at it as just a black issue, and everybody has to stand up and say, yo, what is happening to these young black kids in these streets at the hands of law enforcement is wrong. Period. Mm-hmm. We need others saying that.
What we need is a realization that these problems aren't black problems, they aren't white problems, they're American problems. And what I mean by that is, I don't have freedom to walk the street and freedom not to be killed by the cops because I'm a black man. I have freedom because those freedoms are promised to me. Not promised, but guaranteed to me by actual documentation.
Absolutely.
And my freedom needs to mean as much as everybody else's. It's a very, very simple concept.
That's why I didn't understand when everybody got mad at Justin Timberlake when Justin Timberlake said, we are all the same. Now, we know we're not all treated the same, but what he was saying is we're all human. We have human rights that require us to be all treated equally.
Yes.
Simple.
He said he thinks of us as all the same, which is a beautiful statement.
That's how everybody should think.
That's what we need people to think. Exactly. And I mean, that's just so frustrating. But I think just
it's frustrating because the most simple concept people don't grasp.
Well, because they don't want to grasp it. That's the problem. They want to lash out. And I think what happens is when we create this dichotomy, we create this us versus them type of situation where it's black versus white, and all white people are the cause for our problems, and all white people want the police to treat us like this, then you start lashing out at Justin Timberlake, who, mind you, was watching the BET Awards. I think that he might be pretty supportive of blacks and black culture if he's watching the BET Awards and supporting and inspired by Jesse Williams' speech.
Or either that, or he was looking for moves still, trying to steal a nigga.
Shut up.
He was trying to look at some shit he was gonna take. But no, that's like
a lot of black dudes have gotten pussy by turning on Gone. Okay.
No, but like a lot of everything you're saying is right. But my point is, first of all, I have two things. Number one, we need white people's help, but the most thing that we need from white people is not to get in the way. I think that in the past, what we've seen is we say something and then either it's guilt or it's a feeling. Like, I think sometimes people don't understand is that there's a feeling, at least from me and other black people, that like white Americans are actually free, meaning they don't. Actual freedom and legal freedom are two different things. Someone who is, you know who's free? Jaden Smith is free. Like Jaden Smith does whatever he wants.
Hey, DMX is free.
DMX is free. DMX is free. He's not free by the legal sense, but DMX is free.
Yes, he is.
Those are people, they do whatever they want. They don't think about what could happen to them because of what it is that they're going to do. They don't consider those things. I think that black people, we're socially sort of educated in a way to where almost a lot of the situations that we're in, we have to consider the consequences. Like, we have to think what could go wrong. Because remember now, like, consider that. Like, we have to think, what's the worst case scenario? Like, what's, like, you get stopped by the cops, okay, be on your best behavior here because you could end up dead.
Absolutely.
Like, we have to consider the consequences of everything. White people just really don't.
Listen, Wax got into a situation this morning. I just want to say real quick, this is how black people think. Wax got into a confrontation this morning. This guy was in front of the road, swerving all in front of the car, driving mad slow, whatever. Wax is blowing the horn at him. This dude stops in the middle of the road to cut the road off. White dude jumps out and says, "I'm a firefighter." And his bait telling Wax, "Get out the truck, get out the truck, get out the truck." I said, "Yo, he'd have killed you and got off."
He would have got off.
As soon as you got out that truck, he'd have popped you and said he got out the truck and came towards you. And he'd have lost it. Wax he'd have lost that. Yep. Period. And Wax 100%. Has to think differently because he's black.
Without a doubt.
He has to.
And you know what? And you have to do that. And there are a lot of white people out there that know you have to do that and don't want you to have to do that and want to punish that firefighter out there for doing that.
They got to stand up and speak.
And you know what? They do stand up, speak. They stand up and vote.
Not enough.
They've been. What do you mean not enough? They've been standing up and speaking and standing up and voting since the beginning of this country to support that.
Tell me
three white. The majority.
Tell me three white people you know on a public forum have stood up and said what's going on with the police is wrong.
What do you mean three white people? Myself, Bernie Sanders.
Help me every day then.
What do you mean? Every white person that we know.
You said yourself, Bernie Sanders, and couldn't name nobody else.
Three white people. Any reporter on CNN? Chris Cuomo, Anderson Cooper.
No.
Should we keep on? Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. No, they're not neutral. They've absolutely said.
I've never heard Anderson
Rachel Maddows. Should I continue? Will more white people that do it?
Rachel Maddow is an unbelievable liberal. Andrew, my point is this.
Should we just keep on adding more?
I've never heard them do that.
Absolutely.
No. We could do it, but you're missing the point, though. Like, my point is this. My point is, you're right. There are tons of white people who are educated enough in
the majority.
I don't know. I can't. But there's a bunch of white people who are educated enough in social issues and stuff like that to know those things. But when we talk about the average person that's living a life that's not like that, they think you make it. They're not being racist when they say that that's not true. They really think you're making it up.
Yeah, they don't know.
But how do you know this? That's the biggest assumption you're making. I really think the majority of white people are sitting back down there and going, you know what? There is a disjustice to black people in this country, and I would like to vote to change that disjustice, and I would like to do whatever it takes to change it. I believe the majority of white people feel that way, and I think that we're doing a disjustice to those white people by acting like they're the lowest common denominator of white people.
you're making an unbelievable assumption.
I'm making the same assumption as you, by the way. I'm making the exact. But when I make it, it's unbelievable because you disagree with the amount. The only difference is you're black and I'm white, and I think I'd know a little bit more what it's like to be white than you would know what it's like to be
Your
white.
experiences as a white person are different because you grew up in New York.
So now my experiences are different.
That's a fact. You're a young white guy who grew up in New York.
But when I was telling you that earlier about how I would treat Wax, I'm crazy. But now you're second. Yes, you did.
I've told you from day one, you're from New York. It's the great American melting pot. Y'all accept a lot of things here that don't happen down south. That is a fact.
So then why were you guys disagreeing with me so vehemently when I was saying that Wax is threatening because of his size, not because he didn't have blue eyes? If Wax had blue eyes, he'd be more threatening. Are you fucking kidding me? If Wax had blue eyes, I'd fucking kill myself before he could see.
Yeah, because they were trying to fuck you.
Like, in my opinion, and I'm not saying about you, but this is my opinion, and it may be wrong and it may be prejudiced. I think that if Wax walks into a room, and let's say John Cena walks into the room, when John Cena walks into the room, white people look at John Cena and go, "Oh my God, dude, where do you work out at?"
When'd you get out? Wax walking is like, when'd you get out?
When Wax walks into the room, it's like, fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope this nigga don't get mad about nothing.
No, I've literally seen people breathe a sigh of relief when they realize Wax is a nice guy.
Yeah, Wax.
I've seen it. I've seen white people on the defensive, like, oh shit, until they realize he's Lenny from Mice and Men.
Yeah,
like that's the truth. Like,
don't get it wrong. Lenny killed that bitch at the end of Mice and Men.
He didn't do it on purpose,
but he did. He loved the color. He loved her hair.
He liked the color. He cuddled a little too hard.
So maybe that's what they're afraid of. Yes, I understand. Yes, Wax has a look, okay, and the look could be threatening to people that don't know Wax. Absolutely, but you know what? So do fucking biker gang white boys, and those motherfuckers are scary as shit to me. If I see some dudes in a fucking biker gang, that's the equivalent of Wax when you think about it.
No, it's not. They drunk.
You know, Wax says no, it's not because they're drunk.
Listen, let's pay some bills. Hold on. Now, this week's episode of Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by Audible. There's so many good books to read these days, and it's hard to fit in the time to sit down, relax, and read them. Fortunately for us, there's Audible.com. With Audible.com, you can get audiobooks and enjoy those books you've been putting off by listening to them on the go. Whether you're stuck in traffic during your morning commute at the gym on the treadmill or at the grocery store picking up your essentials, Audible provides over 250,000 titles from the leading audiobook publishers. You can check out books like Jalen Rose, Give the People What They Want, Russell Simmons, The Happy Vegan, and Success Through Stillness, and Dr. Wayne Dyer's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. The app is free and works on Apple, Android, and Windows phones, and unlike a streaming or rental service, you own your books, so you can access those books anytime and anywhere right from your device. Audible.com also has the great listen guarantee. If you decide you don't like the book you choose, fret not. You can exchange any book you aren't happy with for another title anytime, no questions asked. And just for our listeners, Audible.com is offering a free 30-day trial membership. Go to Audible.com/idiots today and start your free trial. Again, show your support for the Brilliant Idiots and get a free 30-day trial at Audible.com/idiots. Now, Van, listen, right? He hung up? Oh, he hung up? Damn. I was going to tell Van that we're having a conversation in front of America that we shouldn't have. Because yes, when we see the young brother Jesse go up on that stage and he gives that eloquent speech and it's accepted and digestible to people, we want to know, how can we get more of that? Like, why did what he said register more than a lot of our other leaders? And what I also wanted to talk about, I told Van, he hung up already, but I told Van earlier this week that I hope Jesse is capable enough to handle the attacks that are about to come at him. Mm-hmm. And Van goes, who's going to attack him? Everybody loves it. I said, give it a couple days.
Oh, yeah.
I said, give it a couple days.
You and I think very similar.
I said, he's going to be the angry black man in 2.2 seconds. Trust me. Well, and Tommy from The Blaze already painted him as that. It was the other guy on Fox News who said verbatim, I didn't know he was so angry. That's what he said. He said, I did not know he was so angry. So, you know, I don't know how much image does play a part into it, because maybe the message is digestible, but then maybe it's just the rhetoric. Because even when the non-threatening guy comes off as militant, because even Schultz, you said that was a war speech, right?
Absolutely.
So when the non-threatening looking guy comes off as militant and aggressive and not about the bullshit no more. Now all of a sudden he's the angry black guy. It is a reason that.
What's wrong with being angry? I would be angry if I was going through that kind of treatment. But what's wrong with a war speech? I would want to go to war with the people that were oppressing me and holding me down. I think we got to ask that question. What is wrong with anger at injustice?
Well, think about
we
this.
should all be fucking angry at injustice.
It's the reason we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. America does, but not Malcolm X.
Okay.
Malcolm X was way more militant. He was way more with the bullshit. Period. Malcolm X said, if you be respectful, be courteous, have manners, but if somebody put their motherfucking hands on you, send them to the cemetery. Martin was about peace, nonviolence, not fighting back. But when Martin started to get a little buck towards the end, they was like, okay, now it's time to do something.
So you know what's interesting? Who killed Martin Luther King?
The government.
The government, right? Which we can chalk up to white people if we want, but the government, right? Now, so the nice, courteous, let's all do this together guy gets killed by the government, right? Arguably, we're assuming that. We don't know that for a fact. It could be just some random racist guy, but we're assuming that. The militant guy gets killed by whom?
The government.
No. Who killed Malcolm X?
The government.
You know who killed Malcolm X, bro.
No, the government.
You don't think a black dude killed Malcolm X? You don't think a dude?
Yeah, a black guy hired by the government. The same way they hired that Ozzy whoever killed Martin Luther King Jr.
I thought it was the Nation of Islam that took out Malcolm X.
That's a great alibi. Why wouldn't that? Listen, that's the truth.
Why not say that?
That's a fact. Even though the guys have even though the guys have come out of jail, one of the guys came out of jail and said already exactly what happened.
Okay,
said that the Nation of Islam never hired them to do that. It's like, time out. Put it like this, right?
Sure.
If I wanted to get you, and I know you had a beef with you're in a gang, and I know you got a beef with your gang, but I got a problem with you too.
I shoot you, blame it on the gang.
Easy.
All right, fine, fair enough.
You ever seen Belly?
Yeah.
Belly is the perfect scenario. They showed you in Belly exactly how that shit went down.
Chalk it up to the game. I get it. It's a smart way. I guess the point that I was trying to make is that I see you and Van, and I think that we'll see a lot more people in the black community trying to make Jesse Williams' success about his eye color or his skin color. Or
no,
his,
we're not. We're asking the question if it is.
Let me just finish. Or about his lack of blackness, if you will, or about his apparent whiteness. I don't think you have the lack of blackness. Or apparent whiteness. And you guys chalk it up to as asking a question. My point is, why does that question even need to be asked? If a man who has a black father, identifies as black, was probably treated as a black man growing up, which is why he identifies so closely to the struggle and the oppression that goes along with it, gives a passionate speech which echoes all the sentiments of the black community and the people that feel oppressed by the different entities in America. Why are we looking for reasons to discredit his blackness and the success of it? Why can't we, let me just finish, why can't we just chalk it up to, wow, this man is good at what he does?
Because it's simple. We want to be heard. And we want to be heard more. And I want people like Jesse that have those messages to always be heard.
But why can't you go, he's good at talking, not, he's white and that's why it works?
There's plenty of guys that are good at talking.
Nah, that speech was better than anything that you could.
That's not true.
Damn,
can you name, listen, the people who have been able to permeate culture, Martin Luther King, like you said, Malcolm X,
have you ever heard Minister Farrakhan speak?
Bars. And Minister Farrakhan.
Have you ever heard Killer Mike speak?
He's been on the podcast. Mike is
I'm talking about to speak. Like,
I've heard him only introduce Bernie. I heard him introduce Bernie.
Beast.
And he's
have you ever heard David Banner speak?
I haven't. I've only heard him rap.
Beast.
But what I'm saying is Jesse maybe had the stage for it. Maybe it was something about the BT words. I think there's a bunch of different things that go into it. But I find it very interesting and very peculiar that both of you came to this realization that it might have something to do with his skin color. And it's troublesome to me because why can't you celebrate this man?
We are celebrating him.
No, you're looking to discredit the success of this because of his skin color.
You called me verbatim and said he doesn't look threatening.
What does that have to do with it? Well, I'm not discrediting what he did.
It's imaging. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but when I said he doesn't look threatening,
so I'm not discrediting him. I'm not discrediting him either by saying I wonder if it's because he's got blue eyes and because his mother's white.
Give the context of what I said. I said, to me, I was surprised that he went through this much oppression because when I looked at Jesse Williams,
you didn't even know he was black.
I didn't know that he was black. So to me, that was so shocking. And I'll be honest, I'm sitting here right now thinking, God, if this guy, this handsome, blue-eyed, fucking male model-looking dude is going through that much oppression for being back. Imagine what it's like for fucking Wax.
So now you understand why we're having the conversation.
No, that's very different. The conversation we're having right now is why was it successful? The conversation that I was having you, the conversation I was having you, which was, Jesus, he's getting oppression for his blackness?
That was part of the conversation, because Tommy said, this actor that's making all of this money and has all of this fame, and what we've been trying to tell people for the longest is that does not matter.
Eye-opening.
It don't matter. So it's like, how come so many people have been saying it, but when he says that you get it, is because you're familiar with Grey's Anatomy?
No.
Is it because you think he's handsome? Is it because he's got blue eyes? Like, we're trying, like, what made it register finally from Jesse that it hasn't been registering with coming from other Black Americans?
Why can't we chalk it up to meritocracy? Why can't we chalk it up to a passionate, beautifully written speech that was delivered well? Maybe you haven't heard enough of them. Maybe you haven't heard enough.
Maybe
speeches. I haven't. Dude, I'll be honest.
Some amazing.
I'll be honest. Listen, I grew up.
What's more impassioned than watching Trayvon Martin's mother cry?
For real, bro.
She might not have the bars.
What's more impassioned than watching Tamir Rice get shot? We saw Tamir Rice get shot. Like, we saw it.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with it? We're talking about a speech with bars that you remember.
But we got video of things we've seen that have been like, damn, that's wrong.
More impact.
But all of a sudden now, it's eye-opening. Like,
his eyes.
Yeah, but
like Harvey Levin said, he made me think. So these videos haven't been making you think? Justin Timberlake said, I felt inspired. And this is what I wish my guy, I forgot his name now, damn, writer for the Huffington Post who got into it with Justin. He shouldn't have retweeted Justin and said, so now you're going to stop stealing music and apologize. What he should have retweeted Justin when he said inspired was, what are you going to do? What are you inspired to do? That should have been the question. Because we're human beings. When you're challenged, you're going to reply back with your chest out too. So that's what Justin did. Mm-hmm. If he'd have just said, so I would like to see the conversation. So what are you inspired
with his chest out?
to do? Oh, yeah.
I don't think so. I think
when you end the tweet with bye.
Bye was a little bit sassy.
Like, come on,
bye
man.
was a little
That's
bit
sassy. That's Beyonce.
Sassy.
Like, bye.
Yeah, that
like,
was
come
weird.
on, Justin.
But yeah. No. It was But I also think you have to look at when a guy like Justin Timberlake, tweets and talks about something and says that he's inspired by something and co-signs like that. He has a huge influence. He has millions of people he's talking to this about.
And that's what I want to know. Somebody should have just said, what are you inspired to do? Like, it should have been a challenge.
He was inspired to share this speech with millions of people so they could also feel the same inspiration.
No, we don't know. But no, that's my point. We don't know what Justin might have been sitting there. We don't know what Justin might have been feeling like doing after hearing
What do you
speech.
think he was feeling like doing?
I don't know.
Shooting black men?
You're not listening.
I am listening. What do you think about inspired? I think that he said, wow, this is a beautiful, inspirational
But it's bigger than the speech. If you're inspired, that means you're inspired to do something.
Okay.
More than just retweet the speech.
So what do you want
it.
him to say? What do you want? How do you want him to answer?
But that's why I wish somebody would have asked him instead of just challenging him and saying, apologize. First of all, that shit means nothing anyway. Apologizing to Janet, cultural, bro, fuck all that.
Yes.
Like, what are we going to do as people to make humanity better?
Sure. What would you like to be done?
I mean, I just want more people speaking out against the injustices because I feel like people will treat you the way that they feel they're allowed to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to disregard of a black body when nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's easy for kids in Chicago to kill each other when nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as people start giving a shit, the majority are saying, yo, that's wrong. Because when we're ready to shut some shit down, we shut some shit down. So, we've seen it. How quickly did Brooklyn get cleaned up?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? They trying to do that in Newark now.
Sure.
They're building up Detroit again. When they're ready to get some shit shut down and clean the fuck up, they can do that.
Doesn't that start with inspiration? Doesn't that start with one guy, maybe with a lot of influence, going, man, I'm inspired, and then another person seeing that video and then going, fuck, this was beautiful. I'm inspired.
Fine with that. But this is where the car got off the road, and this is what why I gave people who went at Justin Donkey today. When he said he was inspired, let's sit back and ask him, what are you inspired to do?
Or
don't challenge him on fucking Janet Jackson.
Fair enough. Let's see what he does. Or instead of attacking him,
he may not want to do nothing because what did you just say? You said that sometimes motherfuckers have resentment. So now he might be like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay out of this shit from now on.
You know what?
Because if I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't.
And I 100% agree with what you just said right there. And that's why I speak about this. We need to be careful how much we alienate the people that we want to treat us equally. And it's very important that we take note to that. You can't say, hey, you don't treat me equal. I want you to treat me equal. You piece of shit. Fuck you. You're the reason why my life sucks. And once you start saying, fuck you, I'm the reason for all this bad shit, there, like you said, you puff your chest out a little bit.
You have to take other people's feelings into consideration.
Because what do we want? We eventually want us all to treat each other equally. Equally shitty, equally well, equally whatever. But let's give a more or less even standpoint. And if we start alienating the people that we want to treat us equally, they're not going to treat us that way.
I agree. All right. We're gone. We've exhausted 2 hours of race talk. Brilliant Idiots is back, baby. All right?
Fuck the guy in the truck this morning.
We haven't had 2 hours of race talk in a long motherfucking time.
Make sure you come out to the show, man.
Yeah, come to the show tonight. We will not be discussing race.
Also,
or maybe a little bit.
I'm gonna do a show in London, man. I'm gonna do it the 7th of August. August 7th. I'm gonna do it Backyard Comedy Club. I think you can go to backyardcomedyclub.com and get tickets. You can get tickets at theandrewschultz.com. Just go to my shows or my dates or whatever it is on the website. There's a ticket link right there. London, show up, do that. We're gonna talk about all this stuff, and we'll see you at the live show tomorrow. Happy birthday, Charlamagne. I hope you got your birthday which is 2 hours of race talk.
2 hours of motherfucking race talk. I got you, Chris. God damn it. Can I close the show first?
Damn. This man's a professional, Chris.
Now, as always, if you listen to this motherfucking show, you think we're smart, you think we're intelligent, you think we're brilliant, you're absolutely right. If you listen to this motherfucking podcast and you think we don't know shit, we're just a couple idiots, you're right, too. This is the Brilliant Idiots Podcast. Thank you for listening. Now, thank you again to MVMT Watches for sponsoring today's episode of The Brilliant Idiots. Movement watches are designed and crafted to complement all styles. And with a starting price of $95, they don't break the bank either. Movement watches got their start selling online, where they were able to cut out the big brand markups and provide an unbelievable price for their high-quality product. Movement's goal is to change the way you think about fashion by offering a high-quality, minimalist product at a revolutionary price. So go to MVMT.